I'll be gaining in.
Joey Clark with highway paving and driveway permits. Get some invisible ink.
Get a pen?
Oh, maybe it's that piece of paper right here.
You guys want to sit down? Joe, right? You said your name was? Joe from J. Hutchins Paving.
Oh,
One of the prices I got here.
yeah, you can grab a seat.
All right. I haven't really had a chance to look at them much myself. Certificate of insurance comes from Quickcom, I guess. So I guess we can make that your first line of business. Now this is on Duffy Hill Road from the village line down to the Four Corners, and then from the Four Corners to the Sheldon line, and then from the Four Corners up to the end of the pavement that's here, and then the apron off to the Tyler Branch Road. So there's like 3 different pikes that broke it up, 3 different blocks of tonnage.
Where's the town line on the Duffy Hill?
Right by Glenn Riley's, right by his driveway.
Oh, back this way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was thinking.
Yeah.
So,
The price per ton is what you want to look at. That price at the bottom, it all depends on how many tons each one estimated, what the total is going to be at the bottom. It's the price per ton. It's going to take the whatever tonnage it's going to take to do from point A to point B. Is just
No matter who does it.
right. It's the price per ton is what you, and I don't think there's a lot of difference between any of them, if I remember right from what I seen. Whitcomb's just come in there this afternoon. I was off to go to a meeting, and
So what is there, 3 of them here?
yep.
I'm looking at.
Whitcomb's, Pikes, and E.J. Hutchins. 6626. 6626 is Whitcomb. Hutchins is
I think it's down here.
66 even. And then
So what are these down?
well, that's just the details, probably.
What was Wickham's, Joey, 66?
Oh, it's-
What's that, Billy Joe?
Wickham's was 6626,
Yeah.
Pikes 66.
6630.
And their Hutchins was 66 even.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of difference here either way.
So this is for
Duffy Hill Road,
doing,
shim and overlay on Duffy Hill Road. And that would be using our own money. I've put in for a paving grant, but I'm pretty sure we're not gonna get it because we got one last year, so unless something really weird happens, we're not gonna get one this year.
so this is the dirt road section.
No,
So this is,
shim and overlay the existing pavement, starting at Glen Riley's. At
Okay.
this village town line, goes down to the
The
Four
Four
Corners. And then our section over to East Sheldon.
to the bridge there basically, or just before?
Yeah, just past Kenny Kane's.
Yeah,
There's a line sign there on the left.
yeah,
And
it's a real bad spot on one side of the road there.
then up the hill. See, and from the village line down to Four Corners, and from the Four Corners to Sheldon line is Town Highway 3, and that's Class 2. So I've applied for a paving grant, which, like I said, I'm pretty sure we're not going to get it.
Yeah,
Won't know that till after 1st of July, but. And then from the Four Corners up to the top of the hill, just before Andy Kane's, where the pavement ends now, is Class 3. And then the apron. What I want to do with the apron is I want to saw cut it. The pavement's broke up, and it's only just put on real thin. I want to saw cut it and dig the pavement up, add some gravel, and then when they do the shim, put a 2.5-inch base out on that dirt further than the pavement that was there, like 110 feet or so.
yeah.
And then when they do the top on the rest of it, go out 1.5 inches over the top for that as well. We've got $109,000 of our own money, and it looks like we aren't going to do it for that. So I don't know. We either only do most of it, or
I haven't seen it quite.
or if we could rob some money from our paving fund
Yeah,
to finish
Finish it up.
that end up.
so it comes out like about 15,000 over.
Yep, yep, in that area.
What'd you have on the paving? And we had over 100,000.
109 for our resurfacing budget.
The resurfacing budget had 109, but in the paving fund, we are expected to have 115. this year to put.
That would leave out with that 100,000.
Right.
How long you guys been in business?
As excavation, about 30 years. Paving's new, but we have very experienced crew. Great equipment. You know, cat paver, cat rollers, 2 cat pavers, mulching truck. So
Yeah, they gave us a price last year. I got a price from them until they weren't up and running as much as they are now. They're gonna have their own plant, he said, after the 1st of July in
That's right.
Enosburgh.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Where?
Irisburg.
Iceberg.
Oh, yeah?
Right now when they go,
Whereabouts? Nice.
In between, off 58, in between Orleans, coming from Orleans towards the village.
Yeah.
That
Right on the
done pretty good
brow of the hill
right there.
after Lake
That-
Region Road.
that
Yep.
paving fund is how much? With the,
2018, we're looking to put 115,000 in it.
yeah, but it already had some in it, right?
50,000.
So you guys work quite a bit over
So
in this
there's
area?
100
or-
there's
I mean,
So there would be
where's a couple of other
150,000
places
if
that
you
you,
take 15 out.
if you wanted
So
to
right
check
now there's
references?
165.
Check references.
Right,
Paving fund is
We've
what we
done
just
some
started.
town work.
but there was some in it
See,
already.
50,000 from last year.
Oh,
Right.
we did
We
a
put
few
Then we
jobs
did
last year and give
115
you
in this
some
year.
Right.
But if we only put 100 in this year, we're gonna
representatives'
have
names for
150,000.
state highway paving jobs.
Know what I mean?
Matt Berger
No,
was the
I-
engineer on
yeah, I
that
do.
one.
Am I saying it wrong?
Well, no,
And
you're
then
not saying it
we've
wrong,
done
I'm just
some
thinking of it differently.
miscellaneous
Okay,
town
We have
work around the Burlington
$165,000
area.
in there right now,
the way you look at it.
the way I look at it.
Okay.
Because we had 50 in there already, and then we voted to put another 115 with it.
Right.
Just have some, but
So yeah,
Yes.
when you take if you took 15 out of it, you'll have 150 still in there. Either way, it comes out same.
Yeah, I think that's the route to take instead of having to borrow. And we got it in this fund anyways, and
I was hoping to be able to do it, all that within our 109, but I kind of had a pretty good idea where it going, because I had a pretty good idea what the tonnage was before.
well, I'm sure if we squeeze the guy next to us, they can come down some more.
Yeah. What they currently do is they either get their mix from Pikes or Whitcombs or whatever is handier or cheaper for you at the time, right?
if
If it was before you get your plan up
before
and
we
running.
get the plan out, but our crew is really, they paved all over northeastern Vermont, northwestern Vermont. So it's not necessarily for here, but we can get you some references if needed. A very experienced crew.
Yeah, I guess you got some Pikes crew where, right, or
Yes,
employees?
myself included. So
So what's it's from 66 to 66.30 or
30.
the most? Well, you know how, I think most of you know how I feel about Pikes and their work. I mean, I don't think you can beat them. I don't really care for Whitcomb's mix, to be honest with you. But
That's one of my questions, is there a difference in the materials?
I don't know. I've heard it from others, but I feel that Whitcomb's, I don't know what there is. Their stone's really hard and they have to put an additive, but she can tell you what it is, into it to make the asphalt stick to their stone. And I don't know if when they do town work, if they lighten up on it, possibly.
I can't speak for them, but you do use anti-stripping agents throughout the state, depending on your source. So.
Yeah, and there's different mixes and stuff, because we used to pull out of Burlington, and then from there, if we went to Johnson, we had to send the information out of Burlington to Johnson, because they had no clue what was being used,
Yeah.
because there's different places with different aggregates.
And they use recycled stuff too. I think state contract allows them to use a certain percentage of recycled asphalt, which probably not a problem really. I mean,
No,
they just remix it up. And I don't, yeah.
What's the time frame of all these?
Well, when Pikes gave me the price, they said it would be early paving. What they call early paving is anything before the 1st of July, because all state work comes out after the 1st of July, after their fiscal year. And I said, I think so, but I'm not sure about culverts. I know I got some ditching to do, and so that price, probably all these prices reflect an early paving price, so that could go up.
Yeah. and I
Remember
think-
last year?
Well, I'm also thinking legislation's trying to float something around for the water quality, taxing some paving, and that just means the cost will go up.
Remember last year we had a price I got for the Boston Post Road? We were
Yeah.
ready to do it, and
Yeah,
But
that's right.
they made an agreement to remill the bridge and then they were gonna repave it because it didn't hold up. That was a guaranteed project.
Yeah.
So then by waiting for the milling machine to get available to do the bridge, by the time they came, price of asphalt went up and they were gonna charge us more. Well, I complained about it enough so that they waived it, but the price of asphalt had gone up in the meantime, but I said it wasn't our fault, we were waiting for you to come with the milling machine, that's why you hadn't paved. So anyways, they waived it that time, but they don't always do that. I mean, the price they give right now could go up a couple dollars a ton by the time you actually do the work if it's after the 1st of July, with any of these guys, I'm sure.
What's your time frame? Plus or minus?
We can be there as early as needed or after, preferably after July 1st, but if it needs to be earlier, we can be there earlier.
So your prices stick after July 1st then?
Does it stick?
Yeah, it would be the same.
Well, it has the escalation price, which I'm sure every contractor does.
Okay.
Yeah, so. And yeah, our crews paid for town of Barton, town of Westfield, all the towns in Orleans County, basically.
Would this price that you got reflect using Pike's mix? Or did it? Hard to say.
Yeah, I would, when it came time to do the work, we'd have to look at it then. So.
Right.
You said you don't like Whitcomb's mix.
I think they do a great job. It's just their mix. I don't know. It just seems like where we've had it in the past, it comes unraveled there
No.
after a period of time. That's what was on the Boston Post Road before we resurfaced it last year there.
Yeah, because it all that loose all of a sudden.
It had a 2.5-inch base, and we probably let that set a little longer than it should have before we topped it, and then we only topped it with 1 inch instead of 1.5 inches. But so some of that could have been our fault, but it's just like seems like once that stuff starts to go, the water gets into it and it just blows up.
So you need an answer on this tonight?
Not necessarily, I guess. You don't have to. No, I mean, it's not like we need to get it paved next week or anything.
What kind of a time frame do you guys need to hear? And if you guys were to do it, to get it scheduled?
Obviously sooner the better,
Right.
but, yeah, and if you guys have any hesitation and need someone to call, like, we can give it to you, because you're gonna have glowing reviews about who we have on
This is their
board.
cover page. I probably won't tell you.
Our next meeting's the 21st.
Right.
Soon enough for you to have a answer.
I would say we decide.
Do it? You want to decide?
I don't care about deciding tonight.
You gotta check some.
Yeah, if you could, I don't know, email BJ some of your references there. We can always give them a call and see what they have to say to them.
Yep, absolutely.
I know a lot of their guys work. Well, EJ Blondin here, he come from Whitcomb. He worked for Whitcomb, right? So they've all been in the business for a while.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And we'll get
We've
you
never had them before, so.
some contacts, and you'll hear good things. Hopefully you're convinced that you can give us a try. All right.
All right, super.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
All right.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, so maybe put that on the agenda the next time. We definitely have to have an answer on the side on, 'cause
There's not a lot
It
of
is.
difference in price.
No, I mean, it's,
It's more important to have that close of a price. I mean, if it's gonna hold up, it'll be,
Yeah.
it's the same more important thing probably.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, Whitcomb's, I always get a price from them, make sure everybody's staying honest. And these guys are the third, we got them last year, so I said I'll ask them again. And we've never had them and they're new at it, but the guys are
Maybe
experienced
they
at
could
it.
give the other ones some run for their money and maybe keep everybody really.
Yeah.
happy.
But, yeah, and I guess I wouldn't be opposed to having them, just,
Yeah, we want to check out some references.
yeah, and,
Yeah, especially they have, yeah, like you said, some towns and
Yeah.
stuff, we just talked to
Yeah.
their chairs or,
But I guess I would want them to use Pike's Minutes now, if they were to do ours. And
So-
this
so they
price-
can-
This price could be, I don't know what, he's not sure what they price.
okay, so when you said that, they don't have their own mix, they're buying it from one of the other.
They don't, yeah, after the first of July,
So
they're getting the
we
plant
could use
set up.
Pike's mix using this company.
Yeah,
Maybe,
Not
Unless it's
until the
after
1st of July or so, right?
until July, yeah, and then they'll be using their own stuff from Enosburgh, but it sounds.
Now, they would be drawing it all the way from Iceberg here.
But, yeah, this price is now, I don't know then what the price would be.
After July 1st,
Are
yeah.
you okay with waiting that long, Joey?
I mean, yeah, it's probably gonna be, we've got that water quality work, we've gotta get done by the end of June anyway, so it's, and if we got ditching and stuff on Duffy Hill to do, it's probably gonna be after the 1st of July and early anyways. I'd like to just be ready to do it now, but I haven't looked at all the culverts and I know there's ditching to do, so it's probably gonna be after the 1st of July before we can do our part to get ready for them, so. That's why I'm always hesitant to get, since that's happened a couple times, getting prices too early. Because the price
It's
probably
not
gonna go
gonna-
up by the time they get around and do it. But then again, you wanna get your foot in the door, because if you don't, July 1st
It'll
comes
be
state work,
October.
you won't get it done. It'll be November before they'll be trying to do it.
Yeah.
how much have the prices gone up in the past? Like, after,
This is actually pretty good. Last year, I think it was 60, when Pikes did, the Boston Post Road, I think it was like $69 or $70 a ton. When they did the Tyler Branch, it was like 63.
We had that year where we had that force majeure,
Yeah.
walked right out of that.
Yeah, that's what they fall back on. This price of liquid asphalt going up is force majeures and the act of God. They can't help
They
it.
can't
So
change
that's,
it, and so they
you can
pass
sign
it
a
on.
contract with them today, but they can change the price when their price goes up. It's out of their control.
even if you prepay or anything,
Yeah,
they
they
can't.
still.
Oh, yeah, they're still gonna
Because
force it.
The one guy mentioned to you that he actually went down on his price one time, right?
Yeah, and they have done that. We actually got a credit back when they did some paving for us one time at a price per ton. And in the meantime, about the time they're doing it, the price of asphalt went down. We actually got like a $1,200-$1,500 credit. So it does swing both directions. So yeah, that was Pikes that did that. And they did waive it that last year. And they probably don't do that all the time. All right, well, wait, get some references then, and maybe decide at the next meeting then.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nice that this guy showed up. He was,
Yeah,
you don't really often see that. And
no. Well, I think that means they're being aggressive. They're trying to get all the work they can.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want you to get the wrong material either.
Right.
I wonder if he emails BJ or something, she maybe ask if, what, could we ask for pipe material? Or is that a possibility?
Yeah, I think so. I kind of threw that out there tonight,
Yeah.
if they did it.
But if they get their plant up and going.
Yeah, if it's after 1st of
They aren't
July.
gonna wanna go.
No, and that's,
No, they don't have to use it.
probably gotta take a chance on it then.
Yeah,
But then the thing is, it's gonna be interesting to see what they have for mixes. Because that's gonna be,
Sounds like they have an experience, or they've brought a lot of good ones from the other.
I think they're experienced putting it down, but they may be a little trial time when they figure out.
trial and error on
the right
getting the
mix
mixing
and what
plant.
works.
And
Yeah, that could be too. I'm sure there's some engineering and science behind it there as far as the stone and what's gonna work, but
Yeah, that's the problem. You're not gonna know
until it's too late.
3 years, 4 years down the road.
Say, oh geez, that stuff's coming apart. Yeah,
just like the recycled rubber tires when they were trying to put them on the interstate. After a while, they figured out it wasn't the best thing to do.
Okay, so we're gonna choose that on the next meeting there, and you have some driveway permits, or you get some other stuff?
yes, oh, can't think of her name now. Corinne Ryan? Is it Corinne?
Right.
Oh.
She wanted me to go see her, and there's some holes out in the back corner of the parking lot, sinkholes that have been there for a while. and she's worried about them. It's not on her land, it's on ours, but she's worried about anybody going in them, and
Chipping up and hitting her.
especially the dairy day people that they park their campers and stuff there.
Yeah.
So she's just wondering if it's something we can fill in.
Fill or
And I
something
told him
there.
I would talk to you about it. I'm sure you probably want to. Just
Where is it?
It wouldn't,
the back corner of the parking lot behind the dumpster.
Upper house?
Over the,
Yeah.
Corinne's the house right beside it that we had the trees
Oh, removed.
removed.
Yep.
Because one hit her.
so it wouldn't take you very long. if you-
No, it's not a real big deal.
Yeah, it'd probably be a good thing because, hate to have somebody liable for
She said there was
twisting an ankle, breaking a leg or something.
an older woman
There,
that
Dave.
got disoriented, I guess, and drove out through the parking lot and then went out on the lawn behind the opera house, and behind her house, and went up in the meadow.
Oh, man.
Finally got stuck up in the meadow and couldn't go no more.
It
But
might have been a tough.
Yeah,
I don't know where she was headed, but
that's been a good play at the Opera House.
so she said, God, she'd ever gone one of them holes there, she'd have tipped right over. So,
Did you get the dirt for the league? Or?
not yet, no. Billy Joel called and they said that they got a lot of it, but it was wet. Yeah, this was a couple weeks ago or a week
A couple
ago.
weeks ago.
Why would that be?
I don't know. It rained all last week, so I was waiting for a few dry days, and
Yeah.
they want 2 loads
Two loads.
at the
They
dairy.
do now?
Both of them.
Oh, both of the dairies.
Right. So if that's all right with you guys,
They're
we'll
will,
go
they
get
are
that.
paying for the dirt, we just have to provide this truck and.
As long as the lake doesn't flood over the road. Get up there.
Another thing I have is a hydro seeder. Remember we talked about getting one to do our water quality work? And I got a price on one that's pretty small, pretty cheap considering hydro seeders. They get a lot more expensive than that. And it's from Milton Rental that sells them. They've been selling a lot of them to towns since all this water quality stuff's come out. It's a 300-gallon tank. It's got a 20. Oh, where's the order on here? Well, you can get a 14 or 25 horsepower. It says Subaru, but you can get them with a Honda too, which I guess I would prefer. I think Honda's probably a better motor. 25 horse is just the one that they usually put on this particular setup. And it would slide right in the back of a truck or in the back of our ton truck. And you mix up the seed and the fibers and stuff that they mix, and it agitates it up with water and pressure. Stirs it up, and then there's a 100-foot hose that you spray it on the ground with.
Is that green looking stuff when you get done with it?
Yeah. Looks like grass. Grass color. The only advantage of that, other than mulching, is we've been shaking stuff out by hand. That's what we do. And that's getting where now we got to do everything.
This whole frame come with it?
Yeah. And there's places where you can put forks into there and pick it up.
What's
So
the
with
price
that-
on that, Joey?
With the shipping and stuff,
58, 59.
58.78. Yeah. They told me $650 for freight, and then they dropped it. What does that say? $450.
450.
So I know we talked about getting one last year, and so well, another year maybe we talk about it, think about it. And that's the pricing I got this winter, and he's going to order some. The town of Berkshire's buying one, I guess, too. And so he's got 2 ordered. Said if you don't take it, there's other towns that are pricing them too. So he gave a list of, I don't know, 3 or 4 other towns that had bought them already in the past, last year and stuff.
So with that, you don't have to do any mulching?
No, that's, you gotta buy the stuff from them, or from somebody.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know exactly what it is, ground up newspapers, I think most of it is. And it's got the color to it, and then you add seed with it, and it mixes it up.
They're pretty expensive. Mixture, you know.
I forgot, he told me too how much it was a bale and how much a bale would do 4,000 square feet. So, I remember him telling me that, and I don't remember how
So
much
we
it
do, it
was.
comes in
Seems
a
like
bale and then you gotta
it's
mix it up so it'll go through
yeah, you
the
stuff
tank,
it
or-
and break it, drop it in there and break it up the best you can, and then you turn that pump pump it up
Oh,
on
it's a
high.
circulator
I just
pump in there.
circulates it in
Oh,
there.
yeah, okay. Okay.
Years ago, the Northwest Regional Office got together and got a grant there to get one, and there's towns could join in on them. And
Yeah.
I think St. Albans, Swanton, I think Montgomery joined in on it. We kind of stayed away from it, so I can see how that'll go. When you want it, somebody else got it, and then
Yeah.
when it's broke.
Yeah.
Or just, oh, is there one you rotated around?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's like, well, it's broke, now that worked all right when the last time we had it, and then you must have broke it. And I guess that's what it's kind of turned out to be there somewhat. So.
Yeah.
They've had some issues with it, I know that. And maybe not so much that as that they've had some issues. But that was an expensive one. That one was, it was mechanically agitated. It had an auger in the bottom, so it was more expensive. Like it got 30,000 or something into that one.
You get this, you could probably rent it to the village if they need to do it. Unless they got one.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're supposed to be doing some on the Pat Hayes Road just somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be interested to see, you know, how quick that stuff.
Well, there's other stuff you can add. He called it something that's like a glue, that you can add in there if you got a steep bank. Makes it stick to it better. Said you only use like a cap full and one tank full or something. You don't use much. Sometimes he said a lot of stuff you don't even need to use that. But then I looked at, you can buy like a mulcher just to chew up hay, but they're as much money as one of these is.
So is
Then you
there a
gotta buy
hose that
hay.
comes with this too, or
And I think
you
the bales of this stuff, Hairdresser, are like $15 a bale. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, for the hose.
Where mulch hay is well, we paid $3 a bale last year.
So all this stuff here comes with it.
Yeah.
I'll move.
So yeah, by the time then you buy mulch hay, sometimes it's available, sometimes it isn't. You gotta sometimes hard to get it. I don't know, and it doesn't work as well, I guess, as far as making the seed.
And this will be 3 times as fast or 4 times as fast or?
It should be, yeah. One guy should be able to go along and do that at the end of the day or whatever.
You don't want two because one of them's gonna come home on plastic.
Got sprayed intentionally.
So there's been a motion
One second.
and a second to enjoy purchase hydro seeder for $58.78. Any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay.
Next thing I have is with our chloride here. There's been a little competition there with chloride. Last year there was new outfit was around. They called Innovative. You normally buy chloride from Gorman's, and chloride's chloride. If they're giving you the 30%, 25% solution or whatever they're selling you, it's all supposed to be the same. So if one goes down, the other goes down. So last year the competition was down to 80 cents a gallon. So Gorman, where we normally buy it from, went to 80 cents a gallon. This year, Innovative's at 83, Gorman's at, 82. 82, Gorman's gonna be at 84. They said last year they didn't make hardly any money. There's what this other company said they're trying to drive them out of business. He said then there was 2 companies that always did it, Allstate's and Gorman's. And last year Allstate's quit doing, they just stuck to asphalt. They're not doing chloride anymore because the competition. They said they aren't going to make money, they're not going to do it. So, well, this Gorman, he lives over in, I don't know what town he lives in, over the mountain, Enosburgh, Orleans, over there somewhere. And he says they're not going to drive, he works for Gorman's, he said they're not, that's what he does is all the chloride. He said they're not going to drive me out of business. So it's a couple cents more a gallon to continue to buy it from him. And I said, I don't know, I'm going to talk to you guys about it.
How many
He said,
gallons
well,
a year you use? Joey?
oh, sheesh, I'd have to, probably about 40,000. I could get about 10 loads of 4,500 gallon loads, so.
So you talk a couple cents, it's about 800.
Probably $900, say. And he already filled our, usually I call him early, like in March, so they can come fill our tanks. So they're there and they're ready and they're full, ready to go. And he said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll fill your tanks for last year's price at 80 cents. And then you can talk to your board. And
Oh, I see.
he says, hopefully they'll stick with me. He said that if they can't make, he said that they gotta make at least 78 cents a gallon in order to break even, so he said last year we really didn't make only 2 cents a gallon. So they wanna make more money this year. They wanna make it enough to make it worth it, or they're not gonna be able to stay in business. He said Gorman's gonna tell me we're not gonna do it anymore, so.
Then the other guy will have you by the short hairs.
Right,
You don't want
if they're
that.
the only one, cause one company already quit doing it, so then if they
Yeah.
drive these guys out, they'll be by themselves.
Yeah, I would say.
And there's
stick with
question about where it's coming from and how quick it can get it.
I would say we stick with what we got.
It's not gonna be a lot of difference in the money, but
My feeling.
I'm always for getting it from the cheaper price there if it's still within reason, but I don't know what the service would be like, so.
These guys have been good to work with.
Yeah, we've got a good,
Service is worth something.
and he gave us, I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it, but he gave us and Berkshire both a verbal guarantee that within 2 days. See, last year he ran out of chloride, and we needed chloride. You know how it is when you want it, you want it. And he couldn't get it because he ran short. They gave us both towns a verbal guarantee he'd have us chloride within 2 days. So maybe other towns will be without, but we're supposed to be. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You gonna make a motion?
You made a motion?
Oh, yeah, I'll make a motion to stick with who we're with now.
Gorman?
Gorman?
Yep,
Yeah.
Gorman.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded to have Joey stick with Gorman's, get his chloride. Any more discussion? We have none. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Right.
All those opposed, say nay. Okay.
All right, now the real interesting topic. That's where I just come from with the meeting up on the Curly Road. It's for the Berkshire, the East Berkshire Fire District #1. They've got a grant, do some work on their water system up there that supplies 80 people in East Berkshire. And there's engineers involved, and then the right-of-way goes across Doug Watson's property, so he's involved.
I
And
was gonna say, that's up on top of the hill in back of Watson.
Yep.
Yeah. I know where it is.
And right now their right of way goes up Doug's driveway, and they would like to get it out of there, and he would like to have them get it out of there, because they go right through his yard to go up there. And they gotta do some major work up there. There's like some prefab concrete tanks and stuff they gotta, set in place, and there's a crane that's gotta be up there, and Monash out of Morrisville are gonna do the work, the water work and the road work. So I guess their first thought was different locations within the Berkshire section of the Pearly Road or the Berkshire section of the Woodard neighborhood. Well, nothing seemed to work. Everything's too steep and ledgy. And so then they come up, well, we're going to go right here, which is above Doug Watson's, was actually in Enosburgh. This is where we're going to go. And they drew up a full set of plans, and they put it out to bid, and the contractor was awarded, and they're ready to start work. And it's like, well, oh, geez, the line's right there. This is actually in Enosburgh. We need to, what do we got to do? So I got involved in this about 3 weeks ago after our last meeting. So Doug Watson brought me in. I told him, I said, well, they need to have an access application for a permit, and there's a little process to it, but it's usually pretty simple. So I went to see where they want to put it, and I questioned, why don't they keep it in Berkshire, and all the other sites aren't going to work that well, so I don't have a problem with that, but where they want to put it, and really the only place they have to put it, the site distances of what it should be for a 50-mile-an-hour road. We've run into that before with other residential driveways where sometimes people's boundaries are here, and you can't get. But the precedence, as I've always done, is try to put it where the site distance is the greatest, where you can see the farthest.
Yeah.
Well, they really don't want it there, or I don't think Doug does. I don't think, that's the feeling I get. I'm pretty sure that's.
Yeah, just on Doug's land, or?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the right of way goes through his property to access the water system up back.
Right, but you say they go through his driveway now.
They do, yeah.
But would this would be moving up
Yep,
the road some, right?
up the road towards, it's the Jetty's residence, or
Right.
the next place up.
Yeah, right.
So it's to get the
equipment up there.
if they get the equipment up there, and it'll stay there, and they're gonna have a gate at the edge of the right of way, at the end of this road, because he doesn't want people just to build freely, drive up there. he don't want.
So this is gonna, they want it to be permanent, but not just for the construction period.
Right, it'll be there, this stuff will be monitored through Wi-Fi, computers or whatever, so they're not gonna have to go up there. It doesn't sound like every day, it sounds like maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe once a week, I don't know, just to do whatever.
This is just a,
So it's out of the right of way?
Huh?
It's out of the right of way? Because he has, the right of way's only so many feet wide.
Yeah,
It's a new-
the water system is, or the drive, what do you mean, the,
Well, they have a right of way to get up here on his property.
yeah. This is just
The
moving the
driveway
right
is out
of
of
way.
the
Changing the right of way.
Yeah, changing the right of way from where it is now, which uses his existing driveway to his house. They're just moving it up the road. So this, he wants to get it out of his, using that driveway.
What's it do, come back around his shop, on the upper side of his shop?
Yeah, it does. So he's gonna be able to use it too, you know, as well as them.
Also, yeah, so there might be more traffic than, yeah.
On the Berkshire side of it, the speed limit's 35, so the sight distance doesn't have to be so great. And I'd have to look to see for sure what it has to be. By putting it, the thing is, on the section of road, there's a cross culvert that crosses the road, well, so it's either gotta go on this side of the cross culvert, or it's gotta go on this side. And putting it on this side, facing from the Pearly Road towards Doug's property, it puts it closer to his house here than it does over here. He would prefer to have it over here, but the sight distance is only like 280 feet up the hill on the 50 mile an hour on a blacktop road coming this way. Down the road, it's like 360. So either way, they probably should, through this project, put up a couple hidden driveway signs, maybe.
So what is the guideline?
550 feet for a 50 mile an hour road.
550.
That's, and like I said, I've run into this before, where people, and we've talked about it when we're doing zoning, doing subdivisions, is take that into consideration.
Yeah, before
You know, when they
anything
got
happens, yeah.
200 feet of road frontage, and you can't see 550 feet any particular place for a driveway.
Yeah,
So I told him I'd talk to you guys about it and see what you thought. If he would, I think they can make it so that he'll be happy with it down here where the sight distance is the greatest in the end. But he would really prefer to have it up here.
well, it'd be one thing if it was just for construction, but this is gonna be,
And that's what he would
Permanent.
I think, really like to have, is them to build a road to do their construction and then tear it up and be done
And
with it.
put it
Because he
back.
doesn't really want one.
yeah,
But he doesn't have a choice, I don't think, because they have that water system, that East Berkshire Water District has it right away up through his property. He's just, okay, well, I guess I can't not let you do it, so I want to at least move it from here over to here.
So is this something he's gonna have to pay for? Or is that something that,
No,
Water district.
this water district's got a grant from the federal government.
I see.
US, what would that be? They got a grant in US to pay for most of it.
is there a place that works better for the maintenance of your regular roads, the town roads? You said one, the culvert.
Not really, it
Right.
makes, you know, as far as the road goes, it doesn't make much difference. It's just the sight distance is the only concern I'm supposed to take into consideration. And that's been the precedence before, when we've been into these positions when you can't get the proper distance, we just do the best we can, get the most sight distance as possible. So with that precedence, this is where it ought to go, and I think they can do it, so he'll be content. We just spent quite a lot of time up there with the engineer and Minosh out of Marshville going to the work, and Doug Watson, and is it the music teacher Frappier there? He's one of the ones on the.
Frappy there?
He's on
Andy?
yeah, he's on the water board. There's a few of them. There's Bob Garrett was.
yeah. He didn't want this project to happen, he's like, water's water, I've been getting that from. So, yeah, he kind of stepped aside from that, but he was.
Sounds like a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what he said, and like, it's ridiculous.
Seems like they could have drilled everybody a well and done it cheaper.
That, yeah.
But whatever. I guess not. It's too late for that. I thought. So I don't know if there's any, I said, well, you're on the development, you guys are on the planning and development review boards, is there any kind of a waiver or something that, or we just say, no, it should go here because you can see better and just try to get them, I think they can do things to put, they're gonna transplant some trees anyways, and I think when I laughed, Doug said, well, whatever,
Well, I'd suggest where you get the most, site, because like Larry just said, is more gonna turn into a permanent.
yeah, it'll be there. He's and in the plans. Actually, I got the copy of the plans. If you can see them, pretty elaborate set of plans for a driveway. But that's what engineers do.
So this must be where it is right now. This is what they're proposing.
Yeah.
And now, is that in the widest visibility section?
Not where they've got it here. It would have to come down this way towards his property down in this area.
That's kind of long.
So what they'd have to do is, where they've got it proposed, they'd go in and then they just turn like this, or they go down where the visibility is the most, they would have to go in straight 50 or 60 feet and then turn to not, he's got a bunch of spruces planted behind his house and you don't want to lose those, so. If they went in straight 50 or 60 feet and then curved, the engineer said, oh yeah, we can do that, just put some good curves on it. He's just concerned about people pulling over there and getting out and trying to case his place so they steal stuff.
I don't know, that would be my suggestion.
Which I understand, I understand his issues.
Right.
His place is in Enosburgh.
Yes,
Yeah,
he pays taxes.
all of it, is all of it, or is it just like a bit, some of it part way?
never-
The line's right there, isn't it?
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
He taxes for his house.
Oh, that's the property line, yeah, town line,
Yeah. Berkshire and Enosburgh.
yeah.
So where's the reservoir?
I don't know if it's even on there, it's down the line there, way,
Like I
I
say, is it in Berkshire or Enosburgh?
don't know, it must be, it's in Berkshire, cause this is
Must be it
existing.
continues up through.
Yeah, I think this is an existing, see, this is what they use
So this-
now.
okay.
We
This
just
is
make
the
our
new, I'm
water.
just gonna hook on to the,
Right up in the hall. Yeah, thanks.
I think they have land, they pay us taxes.
I think you have to put it in, like you said, the best visible spot, and I think you almost should also require them to have signs. I don't know if we can do that or not.
yeah. They said they'd be willing to do that, I mean, we just tell them they want hidden driveway signs, at least on the uphill on the 50-mile-an-hour side.
I just hate to find out that he puts a house up there. And then it's, a lot more traveling.
Well, I guess there's a lot more to it, the agreement between him and the water. There's a lot of stipulations to what it can be done and used for, and I think, from what I understand, that I think they're gonna put fences up and plant trees and stuff like that so that quiets noise down and
Oh, yeah.
visibility and all that, so there's lots gonna happen there. So I told him, I said, I'd talk to you guys, see what you felt, but I said, I don't.
Well, that's my feeling, is put it in the most visibility.
Yeah, is Berkshire gonna have to come in and get a variance?
Driveway permit.
So Manash calls me the other day, he said, I just wanna make sure, and I left a message, I called back, he said, I just wanna make sure we're all set. He says, with permits and all that with Enosburgh, I said, oh no. I said, they just applied for one. I said, they're meeting the 7th, but I said, that'll give you a notice to proceed if it's agreed on that night.
It's on permit.
He says, I wondered, he said, I'm not starting that night, he said, because they're gonna start today, they want to start today, that was, they're gonna go in there and start.
Yeah, but isn't this Doug's property? So if they're not for
It's 10
here,
acres.
Even though they're,
I'm
just asking.
This is a new driveway.
right, but I'm talking about Doug's property. If it was going before, if it was going up through, so then isn't, aren't they gonna have to go through and
If
It
they
needs to
were-
go through DRB for change of use, I don't know.
Well,
Well,
I'd
the
have
other
to.
part, he would have to, the attorneys would have to get involved and get his permission to do a different right-of-way in a
Right.
different area. But that's his problem with the attorneys for East Berkshire and him,
Right,
not
right.
anything to do with us. But they'd have to legally do a different description of where the right-of-way is.
Well, they ain't gonna like to hear that.
It's, well, I mean,
The attorneys will be happy.
Huh?
The attorneys will be happy.
Yeah.
Polly can answer you real quick. She's here. 'Cause she's still on DRB, right?
They probably didn't even, I didn't know anything about that. They probably didn't even think about that.
yeah, because I mean, that's gonna change everything.
Changing the law.
Does that have to happen before they can do anything?
Well, I would think because he doesn't have to
Supposed
grant
to.
them,
Yeah.
he doesn't have to grant them a change of right-of-way. They have the right-of-way for which it is described in the deed, with the direction that it's going. He doesn't have to allow them a different place for a right-of-way.
Sounds like he is.
He is, yeah.
No, but I'm saying, if he doesn't like this, he doesn't have to agree to it.
Then they gotta come up with Plan B.
Yeah.
I don't think there is a plan B. Well,
think if-
other
I
than
think they need,
in this area where,
But you're
Yeah.
talking about the cut and with the right of way, then the next thing is what Pierre talked about. They're gonna have to.
Yeah.
it's gonna
yeah,
change the use.
well, we've always
So they got another
changed the use
step
of
to-
right-of-way variance to the law, because it's going to a different part of the property.
wouldn't you think engineers would know that, going from town to town doing projects? They should.
And
Apparently they didn't, because they're chomping at the bit. They're like, are you sure we can get
Well, of
approval
course, they're
tonight?"
gonna push all those buttons because they just think that we're not paying attention.
I said, I don't know if you're gonna get approval tonight. I said, there could be some questions. They may wanna come out and see it themselves. I don't know.
oh, we can give them permission for this.
There you
We
go.
can't give them permission for that. That's,
Right.
Oh, the curb cut you can, but not.
yeah, we can do the curb cut.
Okay. Yeah.
But if they want to put a road up through there, they have to get that through DRB.
Okay. Probably somebody
I
should.
assume, I mean, it's,
At least check on it.
yeah, Angie would be able to,
Yeah.
want me to send them that direction, because,
The water board needs to have a conversation with her.
Guess you get to be the messenger.
Or, I can, or let somebody else send them an email telling them that or whatever. But, or I can tell them that you better call the town clerk. That's all.
Like, we
She'll
don't,
fill you in on the rest of the details.
we don't know all the other language they have and stuff, but, you know, who knows if there's not a house built here later and you're gonna use this driveway without,
I think there's some writing in their contract that's gonna say that they can't do any of that, but I don't know that for sure.
They've got all that stuff, yeah, they should go through Angie, do the steps right away.
I'll tell them there's more detail with the DRB they need to follow up on besides this
Just check on it.
I
curb cut.
mean, yeah, we can, that's kind of how we talked about it before, all the subdivisions or any of these lots. The first thing is, can you get a curb cut
Right,
before they subdivide and stuff? Okay, you get a curb cut, now you go to the next place
yeah.
and get your right-of-way access or whatever you're gonna, building lot or whatever you're gonna do in there.
Yeah.
So,
I guess this is, in this area is the best of, that there can be for the access.
yeah, yeah.
Just closer to his place is more visibility than where they wanna go, where they've planned on going. Doug says there's right-of-ways across all the properties up through there, but I guess it's mainly for water lines, not for access.
Yeah,
Because I suggested going up to the jetty property, the access is already there, wide enough. Just continue off in that, a little further distance, but you don't have this valley to fill in, so. But I
right.
guess it's not an option because they don't have an access right away, they just have water line right away. And that would be starting all over from scratch. But it sounds like they got some work ahead of them before they're ready to do things on this.
Yeah, gotta at least,
Do we, as far as the curb cut part, I guess you go with your best judgment on the visibility one
And have them put
encourage them to
signs
go
and-
that way, yeah.
If you feel you got enough information to sign for that, then I guess they can start on that, right? And get off the right of way.
yeah, if they feel confident that they're gonna get the rest of the permit process. I mean, that's basically what it
I
is.
bet talking to the contractor, he's not gonna start anything until everything's in place. 'cause He said, I've run into one of those walls before.
Yeah, I mean, it may not be a huge issue, but he's still gonna have the meeting and the process with Angie and schedule a meeting and get it recorded.
Yep. So, do you wanna sign this part, and
Yeah, we
then
could-
I can write in, I'll just tell them it's gotta go here for visibility, and then I can write in there on stipulations and conditions that they need to, along with this project, is include
Blind driveway.
blind driveway signs. I know they're not gonna amount to too much after they're up here for a couple days, nobody will notice them, but
Yeah.
at least they're
Yeah.
coverage
Blind
for
driveway.
somebody.
Blind side.
So I haven't signed the first page yet, but it doesn't matter, or either one will have it signed.
Now, the thing is
Just that second page, this one is the actual,
After-
this is the notice to proceed here. And who knows down the road when, 2 years from now Doug sells the place and it's somebody else that owns it, you
Yeah.
gotta kinda think about that too.
So with us signing it, you say they try to bypass us. What would end up happening?
What do you mean, just do what they want me to anyways?
Yeah.
Wait and see if they do that first, Pierre, before you get.
No, but I'm just,
I think you'd send.
But they have to go through this process because it's not for housing, so they have to stipulate what this right of way is for. Because then if it gets changed to housing, then they're in violation. Because they need to go through the process again to change the use of that right of way.
Can Doug use it for something else though? They can, but can Doug use that?
I know the conversation, they're gonna, right now out behind his garage, he's got a gravelled area that he parks equipment. I don't know, he said some stuff. So they're gonna change that and move that next to this road now, so that he can, he'll be able to go in there and access this parking area for his equipment. How often he's gonna do that, I don't know. I don't think he plans on doing anything other than that. Maybe he can't, maybe in the agreement between the two of them, that nothing can happen. Because he's really worried about people, that's why he wanted a gate, and wants no trespassing signs. They gotta put all that in these fences and trees. He doesn't want people, he doesn't want people parking there and walking their dogs and going snowshoeing. But I said either way, the gate needs to be back to
The
the.
crowd have to be watched.
That's what he said. He said that. Those are the words he used.
Come back on your.
I'd be more worried about the side of sides.
Yep.
So anyways, the gate will have to be back to the edge of the right of way, so that for that'll allow somebody to actually pull in there. And they could have room to park here, but that's the idea, so somebody can pull off and get out and open the gate without being sitting in the road.
Sounds good.
Alright, I guess that's all I had.
Okay.
Maybe I better stick around for,
I think you need to stick around for Susie,
Just in case.
just in case.
Okay. We're a little bit behind, like an hour.
Yeah.
Talk
And you got
fast.
people out there, so I won't take much time. You got a whole crew out there waiting. So, first of all, elevator in general, put out a bid letter around the 4th of April asking for maintenance contract prices and inspection prices to Bay State, Schindler, and Otis, and have not heard a thing. So I'll reach out again and ask them if, somebody wants to reply, we'd like to, do you want business or not? And then I have the proposal for painting, Jim Willette's proposal for painting, which I've torn apart and tried to make it a little simpler. I've changed, I could work with Billy Joe on an ending date, once we know it's gonna go out. Um, who's this? Jesse Goway? Oh, okay.
Yeah, already working on it,
How do he, he doesn't know what he's bidding on, how did he?
2 sides.
Okay, so we talked about doing 4 sides last time and doing a side a year. So I've crafted the language around that. Do you still want questions? In Jim Millett's package, he had you as the contact for questions about the building, so I would use that information still. I think it would be wise to take out the stuff about the like the repair work. We've got sills that have fallen off. We've got some windows that need, a person who's a carpenter needs to do this, that's going to do it right, not a painter who's doing it just to get some paint on there. And I think looking through some grants, there's grant opportunities for that piece. I haven't found grant opportunities for paint yet, but I found some grant opportunities for like windowsill repair and that type of thing. I'm going to talk with Jim Kierman, see if he knows of anything that we could do with paint, and touch with some of the contacts he's had.
Yeah, because that elevator's starting to eat up the budget.
And I've got other issues. So, and then I changed it to painting of the exterior over the course of 4 years, 1 side per year, with the invoice being broken into 4 payments over 4 years. But I did have questions as to this whole lead abatement part. So I've got it in there. I think it's probably wise to have it in there. I mean, we all know it's been scraped and painted. I don't know how many times since they stopped lead paint in the, whatever it was, 70s or whatever it was. So I guess if you have it, somebody who's going to bid on, I would tell them not to be scared about that part. And hopefully it'll be fine, and they have to check, but they get a chance to do that before they bid. If that is okay with people, I'd like to retype this up and get it to Billy Joe so we can get it out there
Yeah. Yeah.
and run an
It's
ad.
already too late. It should be
Just to give you guys a heads up, I've gotten in touch with these guys because they're painting right now. So Jesse,
Go away.
okay,
go away.
From Richford.
yeah. They're working on a project, and so this includes 2 sides, because I asked for the worst 2 sides, just to give them a rough idea.
We could get them the information, they could revise their bid and do.
They'll probably stick with what they got, because what
Yeah.
that covers there is pretty much what covers right there.
Yeah, but it would be for
4
4
years.
sides, 4 years.
Instead of 2 sides for 1 year.
Yeah, because the money, trying to spread out the costs so that we can get other things done. It's not just painting the building, but the sewage is backing up type thing. Sewage did back up again, yet again, with nobody hardly in the building. We've had the cover and the floor in the mechanical room, so it's not stuff going in there. Over the years, we keep having issues. I know they've gone down with a camera, and they can see a spot that they keep saying shouldn't be any issue, but obviously there's got to be some issue. I mean, we had one guy in there, so we've had, what we're doing, each person's adopted a room, and Lou Rose, a new member to the board, adopted the front hall, and he scraped and he painted the whole front entrance hall in the front, the doors, and did an awesome job. And he used the bathroom, and everything started flooding. And so that issue is ongoing. Couple that with, we have had major water in the building yet again, not through the sewage, coming through the foundation, soaking that back carpet. We've had to get in and get it cleaned. Smells like hell now. I know that we have other areas of foundation probably where we have issues. When Chris did the green room, he had to throw away all the old insulation, spray foamed, and put in new sheetrock because of that issue. So I suspect the girls' room, the men's room, that whole back area. And so I'm going to be back with you at some point saying, let's tear out and plan on some new sheetrock and some new, because that can easily become a big mountain that we don't want to deal with. So that's going to be something ongoing. The elevator isn't working again. Nobody's hardly used it. We had one event. This is not a heavily used elevator.
Yeah, that's what.
So I've
yeah.
called Otis or whatever we're dealing with and said, listen, we need you back up here. You did work on it before, it's hardly been used. I mean, hardly.
Mhm.
And now it's not working. We want some adjustment on that. And at the same time, I've asked, you're gonna be there tomorrow, 8 o'clock in the morning.
I'm gonna talk with Joey.
So, did a sump pump get put in the elevator shaft?
The sump pump's already in there.
Because it wasn't when I was there, so you must have put one in.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So
That's why there's a pipe that comes out of the hose in the storage room. And if you take a look, there's the pipe that I stuck it back in because someone went through and foamed around the pipe that was in the wall.
right near where we get the hot water and cold water.
Well,
that'll
just as you open up that door, if you go through and you open up that door, that pipe sits right there. And I went through and I put it in a little purple pail this time. Because I did have a white bucket right there.
So any water comes in, goes in that bucket.
Bingo.
I wonder if that was the water that was all over the room, all over the elevator room.
No.
You don't think there'll be enough water to do that? Okay. Anyways, okay, perfect. So then the elevator is probably fine then. I just thought if they're there and
Well,
they lift it
it's
up and
not-
they see something in there, rather than get them up again so that we can get the water out of there. Because I didn't know there was a sump pump put in there, and she had mentioned that she thought there was. I'm like, well, that'd be great, but I know way back in the day there wasn't. So, and then my question is, where is it draining? So, okay.
Is that sump pump working? Is the pipe pulled apart or any foolish thing like that? Is that where all your water's coming from?
I think it's coming through the foundation. Over the years, sometimes you'd see it in the furnace room coming through the cracks in the floor. It's just the aquifer and whatever, and it's too much water, and it comes right up through the cracks. You can see it bubbling right up the cracks. And I think it's a stone foundation. I think we need to think about, and we need to do something other than keep throwing money at all of these things and sucking up water and getting the carpets probably ripped out at some point because they're just going to be disgusting and unhealthy. Is to get some proper drainage there. I think Reggie did the drainage originally, and who knows where that sketch is at this point, but there needs to be some digging and drainage around the outside. And my thought is if we end up doing that, which I think we're going to have to at some point, question is when, do we want to do something with that sewage pipe? Because I believe when Gary Atherton, we did the whole thing, it comes out, goes down the driveway, that other driveway next to Ryan's, and then it hits the lawn and it goes diagonally across the lawn over that way. So I think, if we get to doing that, and if we figure something, get a plan, which I'm going to work on getting a plan and bring it back to you, if we have a plan with that, we probably should be looking at that at the same time. There's just no reason with the amount of use that building gets that you should have sewage backing up a couple times a
We
year.
dug that pipe up once, quite a few years ago. I remember from the building to the street and replaced it with some Schedule 35, but I don't remember.
If it was the whole way, if it was part.
Yeah, obviously we couldn't do underneath the floor.
Who has the plans of what you did?
I don't remember if the village might have had that. They
Okay.
might have it. Not sure.
So that's-
Or if
I mean, that's way before me because I don't ever remember.
we come down, we went down and,
How long have you worked here?
a long time.
I mean,
Since high school.
so we're talking at least
30.
more than 10 years ago.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, did
Gary
something get
Atherton was
crushed? Something
involved.
got crushed?
Yeah, we replaced most of the pipe, I know that. We dug from the building to the,
I think that was about 14 years ago.
was it that long?
It must have been right before I came on because
It was
it's,
right when you came on, because I had started to.
You
Okay,
remember it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I can, because that's what I had suggested, or that's what I was thinking is that, hey, we just pick a day.
'Cause I remember the village guys come over too. Gary Atherton was there. He got some pipe, and we just kind of a collaborative effort there, and we put it back together.
So I'll be getting back to you with that, the whole water foundation sewer piece. Get the bids out for the elevator, and then I've been CCing Pierre, I think, almost everything, and Billy Joe. We've got Sunray Fire and Security is coming with Mammoth Friday because they screwed up on their coordination. Sunray was here, Mammoth never showed up. So They're gonna reprogram that sensor that keeps showing up as wrong. They're gonna, they've got work that they did a proposal to that has to be done, and I told them, rather than doing 2 trips, come and do it. I was a little jumping the gun, probably should get your approval, but if you don't have batteries in the alarm system's not gonna work. And he has no idea how the batteries are even providing the output to the panel, because they're so dead. So their proposal that, I don't know if it was shared with you, that came in March, was $497, and it includes 5 different batteries, cable and hardware. They need to do some replacement in the fire alarm, which all of this is good because they were worried that if it looked too much, they have to go in and submit something to the state saying they're going to do this work. And if it's too much, they might say, how old is that system? What are we going to do? Blah, 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 blah. And it could be a major overhaul versus just doing this repair work. So far so good. I think we're in there with that. We had a couple calls to the fire department because since they cleaned and prepped all the sensors, everything's setting them off. So Lou was doing some plaster where there needed some plaster, and he was rubbing it up and getting some dust going. The alarm went off. The kids were there. They did a fog machine. We've had fog machines. Never had an issue. We used a fog machine, set off the alarm. So we have now put into our policies no fog machines. And I'm going to ask them about the sensitivity, have a little bit about that. But
Yeah.
They said the night before we got the, that call that morning, that they had a lot more fog in there.
Yeah,
the
and it
night
never-
before than what we had, that morning, that
yeah,
next morning.
so I don't really understand, but I'm presuming it's because they cleaned everything and whatnot that now it's
More-
went off
more
like crazy.
sensitive.
Yeah.
I didn't know they work,
Huh?
You know it works, I know.
We know it works. Change the number so they won't be calling James Willett in the middle of the night.
So it'll call one person, then
It'll-
next, and it'll go down the line of.
Well, yeah, I'll be
Kinda
in
like the
place of
girls.
James.
Girls just have mine on there first. It's like,
I'll be there instead of him.
Yeah, so just out of curiosity, what is the change of command on that?
Chain of command
On the phone
on.
calls?
I think they have a whole list. I don't know what their chain of command is on who they call. I know as chair, I might get one. I know as manager, I used to get them. So I'm presuming Andy and Em get them.
I think Gary gets them, I get them here.
Okay. Yeah. So, I don't know if everybody gets them or they just go until somebody answers the phone.
that's how the girls will work.
Yeah.
Because 2 weeks ago, okay, I worked last weekend, so 3 weekends ago, I get a phone call at 8:30 in the morning, but I'm at work, so then I show up home, I get a phone call, I go over, I go check the system, I go push the button,
Sounds
I know we're good. I come back home, 10 minutes later, call back, go back over there, same thing.
That little one on the side, push buttons
Yeah.
out, yeah. I'll talk to them about it. They're gonna be there at 8, they're gonna be there, 8 o'clock on Friday, Mammoth and Sunray. And then I'm gonna ask the elevator people, when I call them, I'm gonna ask them about the inspection price. No, it was
Sunrise.
Sunray.
inspection.
I'll ask them about that on Friday, because apparently it's a little bit higher than the rest of them.
It is.
I'm imagining it's the number of sensors or something, I don't know, but seems like
What's that, the annual
Or-
inspection fee or
Yes.
whatever?
Yeah.
Like
Yours and the
$250
library are
bucks?
the same, and her, at the upper house is different.
A lot more.
Yeah. So that's what we got going on. I'm actively looking for grants, and then I'll come forward to you with that. But we've got some sills that have just fallen off, and I think if we can get somebody in there to do that, get the bid in for the paint. The work has to be done first, so I need to really get on that piece.
Okay.
And we have our meetings. Beats the heck out of me. Anybody's welcome to come. When is it, Pierre?
Which ones?
Opera House. Wednesday. It's a Wednesday.
I think it's the 3rd.
The 3rd. Lions is 2nd. Yeah, it's 3rd Wednesday. Lions is 2nd Wednesday.
3rd. Lions is the 3rd.
Okay, then ours is not the 3rd. Because Gene's on the Lions. Some speeds.
Oh, so it must be the 2nd.
Second Wednesday of the month. 6:30 to 7:30.
I know we're open
Actually-
this Wednesday.
Just Wednesday?
Yeah.
Planting corn.
Hey, yeah.
Got a lot
So-
to go now, yeah.
If,
I haven't done any yet.
I'm sorry.
if I just have, Joey, if I have your number, and I can call you if I need to, otherwise I
Yeah.
guess. what do you-
Garage or?
Wherever I'm gonna be able to get hold of you at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
Which won't be the garage.
No, but cell phone probably won't be too good either. 7761 is the garage. 933-776.
Okay.
You might not get a hold of me at 8, but you can leave a message and
Well, that's if they show up at 8. By the time they get in there, whatever, it might be like 8:15, 8:30.
And if you're desperate, call here and we'll
Okay.
have them radio.
Alrighty.
that'll work too.
So my thought was if they're there, if they want to check to see if that's okay. And so that hose goes to a bucket. Alrighty. That's the next room I'm tackling because it's disgusting. And I'm gonna make sure that it's cleaned up and straightened out. It's just... So,
What do we need to do about the water damage inside and stuff? What do we?
I'll get some ideas, somebody I know, see, I don't think he's gonna wanna do it, but just, I think it's gonna be,
Yeah, but whereabouts is it? Because I've been in there.
so as you're walking down the main hall, from the bathrooms had water
I
coming
know,
from
but that's flooding from,
the mechanics room, it had come under the wall, it was in the hall, because it was clear water, it wasn't from the toilets, and the elevator room had water all in it.
the hallway, dude.
The back hallway didn't, but the main hallway down, where you're heading right down the middle of all in there, so. And because it's happened a number of times, I think we're gonna have to do some repair along the way.
See, usually this time of year, from
Yeah,
the snow
So,
melt,
the drainage
warms,
just-
or wet
yeah.
spring.
it's ruining the sheetrock, it's ruining everything, so we need to get some drainage in there, and I don't know, do you get an engineer who comes and looks and tells you how far you dig, or do we have that skill set right here in town that we can say,
Do it without it would be a lot.
Yeah.
I know.
I still say we just go outside and dig the pipes first.
I assume
Get the
they
lines
must
from the
tie
building.
into the storm drain.
Yep.
Probably have to get the village. Or
they do, because Gary was not happy with that, remember?
He wasn't happy that they went in the storm drain,
I think so,
or they're supposed to go.
Yeah,
I don't know,
can't go down the street.
yeah.
Better go storm drain down.
There's no bank out back to go to, so.
Yeah.
I get it, I would think, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure they probably just soon it didn't.
Yeah, but he accepted that it was the way it was, so. I don't think there's anything else. Is there any concerns or anything that I need to talk to my board about or start tackling?
How'd that guy do the Star Wars dude there?
So I followed up with Billy Joe to find out if he ever came, and apparently I didn't realize he had come and talked to you guys. That won't happen again. I don't want to ruin what we got going with that, and so.
Was he there this year?
He was. I don't know, maybe a month. I don't know. Did his thing. His stuff is cleaned out. He does help us out. He is active.
But
Certainly
that's
does.
why I bring it up, because
does help us out.
he claims,
Yeah.
I do this.
But we can do something for him for helping us out. We can, get him tickets or a pass to shows or whatever things.
Right.
We can do that. And there are some things that we can pay him to help if he's doing sets and stuff. We can do that. But if he wants to use that space, then I'll be asking you for, let's come up with a monetary figure. And
No, he was longer there than a month.
I say that because I don't know. I mean, he might have been very open to the rest of the board saying how long he was, or to M. I don't know. I was guessing like a month. I don't know. I know that when we opened up, when we started, he's been out for quite some time now. He might have got right in January, been there January and February, but come March he was gone. And so we're working, doing spring cleaning and maintenance that we see on our end, some repainting inside and stuff like that. And hopefully the elevator will be working tomorrow, and then he can get up and clean the floors. We've got prom coming, and I'm hoping the storage didn't get back up for prom. It did one year for me. They had to all truck over Legion to use the bathroom. Escorted, because Legion
The
was
only
one of
thing I
them
figure
themselves.
is a sag in the line or something,
Yeah.
if the frost moves something, I don't know. I don't know anything about those lines, so deep
Yeah,
there.
and I don't know what the best thing to do is to make sure that doesn't happen again, is one solid piece, I don't know. No joints, I don't know, I'm not,
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter on the joints, because I mean, everything gets glued up and everything. I mean, that happens every day. You can't get solid pieces, but something's gotta move. Something's moved,
Yeah.
and it's just time that we just get back in there and just,
Does it come back into the toilets even when they're not using them? Does it back?
yeah, so it
Okay.
backed up into both the ladies' stalls and the men's. And nobody was, one was in use or whatever, so,
I mean, that's 18 inches.
Is your curtain drain around the building tied into in there somewhere, so that's backing it up on you? Shouldn't be, but.
It shouldn't be, but it's been that long. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
so you'll see me again. I'll get going on this. If it's okay with you, can we put the proposal out for the painting under that structure? And I mean, there's some discussion here. I mean, I don't know where you're at here.
Well, you still gotta be bidded out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
we have to take bids.
Yeah, I
What are you bidding
think
out one side per year?
that a
Because yours
contract
is 2 years.
for all 4 sides, but we'll do a side a year and they'll get paid a quarter a year. That way it doesn't wham the budget
Yeah.
so you can't get this other stuff done.
Yeah.
And all 4 sides need to be done.
You can do it 2 sides if you wanna get payment.
Yeah.
2 different years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you could
They all have to bid out.
they could get a payment in the fall for 1 year and they could get a payment in the end of January for the second side. That would be 2 years payments. But, you also had a bid on the books from Kennison, right? Did you actually get a bid from them for Kennison at one point? So I think
They backed out though, didn't they?
No, they left it, but it was a little over 18. But I
Yeah.
don't know that it was for,
so to be fair, I think we should
I think
allow everybody to bid again. What was it for 2 sides here?
this one's at 16,500.
For 2 sides?
Yep.
And they were 18 for?
18.7, I think.
Okay, so they're in the ballpark. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a difference which sides they do, if they're bidding, they would think they'd all, some sides are more work than the others, they all bid the same areas, it keeps it comparable.
Rear wall and right side. They got it right there. I told them to pick the 2 worst.
But you'd almost have, I don't know if they would do it like for your contract, because you need to almost bid it out like that. You don't want to bid it out every year.
No, no.
Hey, who's gonna do this one this year?
Yeah.
Who's gonna do this another
Bid
one?
the whole thing, and I think for any painter, it's nice, they know they've got a little solid work each year. And I bet they'd come in and,
I bet you it's gonna cost you more, because the thing is, now you gotta get the lift. You rent it for 1 week or you rent it for 6 weeks? Just throwing it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
and as for having the sill work, they can paint around the sills.
Then somebody has to go up there with a lift to do the sills, right?
That's not the painter's problems.
And then who comes back and paints the sills? Do they do it themselves? I don't know. I mean, I think,
I mean, the sills are not that big. I'll go over and paint them.
okay.
I mean, if that's, 3 foot wide, I'll go paint the sills.
But they might as well fix them first and have it all
They need to
done
be
at the
fixed.
same
I
time
mean,
if they
the
gotta be
round
done,
one
yeah.
is gone. I mean, they gotta be replaced on some, it's a mess.
Yeah, but that's not a sill. That's trim. Now we're talking trim. Trim and
Okay,
molding.
sills and trim. Yeah,
Okay, that's,
yeah. There is a sill that's fallen right off though, it's gone. On the front, I think. So,
Okay.
I will hold you up. If that's okay, I'll get all this stuff to Billy Joe and I'll continue to CC you here with everything, and if I need you, Joey, I'll give you a call.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Susan.
Susan.
So Riley's on next, so there's the papers, so a copy for him. The links and shit, so that's-
Okay.
Now this is Riley. Yeah, a copy for him, because he doesn't have a copy. You can put this in.
Okay, 3 o'clock, Riley Buckus. Sorry for the delay, we have a lot of stuff going on tonight. Wait a second, computer to come back.
So it's more.
What's it, like, it's supposed to be like water and oil and stuff like that?
Yeah, we,
We're waiting for you.
Oh, go ahead, give me 2 seconds. So,
Okay, let's go ahead and do that. That's quorum here anyways, so you must be in follow-up on the meeting from last month.
Yeah.
And we have talked to League of Cities and Towns, and we do have a copy that you can have there for the breakdown of basically what the town can or can't do. And like we said at the meeting with Larry here the last month, the civil between 2 property owners. We're here to kind of intermediate and try to help solve the problem. And I
You're
don't
still
know.
having problems now, right?
Yeah.
I heard.
So we have I've contacted the St. Pierre guy there, and I guess they helped to take a couple of the animals away. The fence, what did we give them, May
12th.
20. Oh,
20?
Oh, that was 21st.
No, it was the 20, I think it was our third meeting,
yeah.
or our second meeting of the month.
There's water down in there.
I thought you had said the second Saturday, but
No, our second meeting
That's fine.
of May. I'm sure we got it in our minutes
Yeah,
anyways.
it says the 20th because we were meeting on the 21st. So somebody was gonna go check to see if it had been done on the 20th.
okay. And you also said that he had to have a gate up. That's still,
You're out
there's still no gate.
by a certain, yeah. We only give them, what, a week, was it, or when you were in here before? Was
Yeah,
it?
he said he was gonna do the gate right away.
Yeah. Gate's still not
Still
up.
no gate.
So you can read through this and it'll tell you what you can do as a property owner.
You
Okay.
have quite a few rights in there, Riley, so.
Oh,
It gives you the rights of what you can do and can't do. And I did stop by, I saw Larry last weekend and let him know of these rights.
okay. And just a brief overview. What is in this?
I just, basically if the animals get out on other people's properties, you have a right to retain them. But it's not a town issue.
Outside, go inside.
But it, because we don't have a, we don't have a specific large animal ordinance in
Right.
this town.
So if the animals are on my
Dogs and cats.
property, I have the right to seize them?
Have some dirt and stuff.
It's,
That's what the language in here is.
it's pretty much says that in there, Riley, I mean,
Okay.
it gives you state statutes, it gives you the lawyer's opinion from the Vermont League of Cities and Towns. That's why we wanted you to have it, because we want you to be informed just like we are.
Oh, yeah, but I think that's.
Okay.
You might have to build a barn first.
We can bring it down.
Oh, I will have to build a barn.
You want to build a barn? Okay.
What is it, just ruts you need to fill in?
But I know the situation,
Fix them right down.
we've been years trying to get a different, well, not just the animals, other issues going on and stuff. And
I heard the other day they're on Joey's boys, well, Adams.
yeah, yeah.
They were out Friday and yesterday in the road, and last week or the week before, Scott Joyle went through there and he almost hit one. And his boy went through there and he almost hit the same one.
I haven't seen them
And
on
that's
the roads. I've
basically-
seen them out in the meadows, and that's, you know, try to encourage them to get rid of them, but that doesn't seem to be happening
Yeah,
either.
did I hear that they're trying to help clean that place up a little bit? Are they doing something up there to clean it up?
Bruce Weatherby's truck has been there 2 days in the past couple weeks, and they've cleaned in front of Larry's house and by the barn. But it still looks pretty bad. It'll take a
Yeah,
while.
our health officer, I think, is kind of working with him a little bit. Yeah. But we've never seen that in the past. But, yeah, but when they get on other people's properties, it's, the town can't fix your mound system, or
No.
we're not held liable
Right.
for that.
I'm just asking. What I'm trying to do is prevent me from going to that next level
Yeah,
and
but that's
getting costly and all that business.
why I encouraged him, and I told him of his rights in League of Cities and Towns, because I thought maybe that would grab his attention, that, you know, he could lose his animals.
Right. All right.
But we'll have our fence viewers go up on the 20th. And yeah, I know, I talked to Jason about that steel gate. And when he was here, he was saying he needed help for that steel gate. And Jason said he brought it up, but he didn't want to put it up. And he's got some crisscross wooden thing that isn't working.
Right.
I've talked to Mike Reed on that too.
You have?
Yes. Her and Tim Hayes
We're trying to clean up.
were supposed to,
Put a steel gate up.
well, they know that they gotta go work on the fence. And so,
Oh, they're gonna help with the fence?
yes, it's just having the time to do that with their schedules. Because I had informed her that we got a reply from Vermont City.
And that's kind of what I told them. We're trying to take care of this in the town. It shouldn't have to go to the next step.
Right. Absolutely
And-
not.
And if it goes to the next step, it'll probably cost you for both of you guys. I don't know. You're gonna end up having to get attorneys and, I don't know.
So when he doesn't fix his fence and he's not complying by the ordinances ordered by the town, what are you guys gonna do?
That's not an ordinance that we've got.
Well, the town's asked him to,
We've asked them as an intermediate board. We're sitting here trying to make the sides do something, and we can't go around telling farmers how to build their fence.
you guys have
And
fence
stand behind
viewers
it.
and town jurors.
Fence viewers are
You
more
guys
for,
can enforce a lot more.
basically for lines.
Doing.
Fence viewers are for lines for property disputes. We can look at a fence, but
It's an old term. It doesn't mean to look at a fence and make sure there's a fence. It means to judge whose property is where.
Right, but if somebody is not in compliance to certain ordinances in the town, or safety violations, as in animals being out in the public way, and
if
potential for
if they're in our public ways,
safety,
we have the same
issues.
right as you have to grab that animal and say, you're not getting it back until whatever happens, I don't know.
right? So there is a potential violation where the town can act on a large animal issue.
The same as you, it's no different.
Right, because it
Right.
comes on your property,
Right.
it's you and them. If it's
But-
on our town
Well, obviously
property,
there is a safety issue by the animals being out on the road, so why hasn't the town been doing anything about it?
like I said, I haven't seen them on the roads.
Right, but
A picture doesn't say, if I go there, the animal's not on the road.
but the picture shows them right next to the road, and they're not
Next
tied
to the
up.
road,
Yeah, and it's in the public way. If they're just off the road is 25 feet from center, 24 feet 9 inches.
yeah, if you go for that, every farm has fences up to the edge of the road.
Well, there's no fence in between the cow and the road, and I've shown that through through images.
I realize
Right, so there
But
is an
the way
issue.
you're
They're not
stating
tied
it
down,
is
and they're not
they're
restrained.
in right of way, and if you say that, then every farm has animals in that right of way. Because every farm puts their fences right up to the edge of the road.
Right, but they're within the fences. They're not out wandering freely out in the public way, out in the road, like these animals are.
So are we supposed to go pick up every dog that's in the road and everything too?
Well, there's a leash law. I mean, if
Well, I think, Riley, if you take the time to read those papers that we gave you, I think you'll find them enlightening, and then you'll understand more of what Larry is saying about your rights and our responsibilities. And then, if you still want to talk about it some more, you can come back on the 21st when and if his fence is or isn't built. But you really should read that. It does have a lot of good information for you.
I just feel that if something were to happen on the road, whether it be on my property or somebody else's, and it's this issue with his cows being in the road, that not only would
If his
Yeah.
cows are in the road
would he be
and
at
somebody
fault,
gets
but-
hurt,
but-
it's gonna come to him.
right, but I brought it to the town multiple times now, and
And like
The
I
town-
said, this stuff here, I'm
I
telling
mean-
him, this is what's gonna happen to his animals if he doesn't take care of them. It's no different, you can, if they're on your property, you're gonna grab them. If they're on our property, we're gonna grab them. We're telling him this because that's the
Right.
legal terminology from the League of Cities and Towns. Because we don't have an ordinance to go out and get large animals. We got an ordinance for dogs and cats.
well, maybe there should be one. I mean,
All the years we've been here, this is, I've
It's
been
been
on the
going
board,
on.
this is the only
And it's
time that
been
it's come to
going
this
on.
board.
It is a problem, but it's not the responsibility of the town to take care of the animals. We, like Larry said, they were
Right.
trying to help an issue between you and your neighbor.
it's not the responsibility of the town to tell someone. Well, you're trying to help by telling the individual they're being negligent, but as a town, repeatedly going to that person and telling them that they're being negligent and they're not taking care of the animals, the town is in hand being negligent as well by letting it go on and on and on.
We've had this issue with health officers too, and it's not as easy process as what you think. Because this health stuff has been going on since Lloyd Touchette was on this board. It gets sent to the state, and because we can't act on, you don't have an ordinance for things like that. You send it to the state, and then they come back and they drag their heels because it's not a concern to them. It's agricultural. That's how he gets away with some of the stuff out in the fields and stuff. But the animal issues is something that we only have dogs and cats that we can basically go have an ordinance and leash laws or whatnot. Animals like cows, we got one person in the whole town of Enosburgh that seems we're gonna make a loft one person or ordinance.
Well, the domestic gun violence thing came up from one person in St. Albans. Sure, there's other issues, but I mean, it all stems from one person. It really does. That's how laws are made. They all stem from one person, and that's how laws get passed.
Well, you might see it that way, but for us, I mean, this is the issue between you and your neighbor right now. And if it's on the highways, we'll deal with it as a highway
Right.
with Larry. And it's his responsibility, just as like
Right.
it's his animal going on your property. And if it goes on our property,
and that's how it gets to my property. My property doesn't touch Larry's. And the only way for that animal to get onto my property is to go down the road. or
There's a
across
meadow
the
right
road.
by his barn.
Yeah, my property doesn't touch that.
Do you have a fence up on that side?
I don't need a fence. I don't have any cows. There is a fence. It's between his property and Shepherd's property.
So what you're saying is there's, from your house to his meadow, there's
Here,
another,
I'll show you how.
another set of,
Here's the road. This is Benoit's. And this is my property. Boston Post Road's over here. There's a right of way right here. And this is Larry's property. My property doesn't touch.
whose property is that?
Shepherd's. And there's a fence here.
Okay, so you're saying they're going across the road to get there. They still can access from here.
They don't. There's a gate crossing right here. It's always open.
Mm-hmm.
And right now he's got 2 cows over there.
Yeah.
They have ropes around their neck, but they're not tied to anything.
Well, we hear your concerns, and you know, like I said, we're gonna wait till our next meeting, and see what comes of that, and like I said, I don't think we're gonna be building an ordinance for 10 animals, 5 animals, 1 property owner. You're more than welcome to push it.
I probably will.
Go ahead. I encourage it. But like I said, you read what's in that, it gives you a lot of authority that you're probably not aware of. And I know you guys have a lot, just sitting here, let's listen to that last meeting. There's a lot going on between you 2 people civilly. And it sounds like there's some arguments not involved with animals. So like, it could go on a lot deeper than animal discussion if
Well, last meeting I didn't really get to talk. All I heard was excuses and there's a moose up there apparently. Well, there's no moose that's gone through the fences up there, and the deer go underneath the fences and over fences. They don't go through fences. I think everybody knows that around here. And
no, I heard him talking about the apple trees.
Yeah.
And you guys both got vocal right at that point. So I'm like,
right.
you
And-
guys got disputes between
Well,
yourselves.
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Besides animals.
Because I got vocal because it's absolutely ridiculous because the animals don't go over there because there's apple trees or green grass or whatever.
Well, it sounded like you wanted to pick the apples to me, but I don't know if that's his intention, bringing the animals over to eat the apples or what, but it sounded to me like there's a lot more than just the animal issue going on between you 2.
Well, he seemed to think that he owns the property that my house is on, and he said that I guess before. Since Jay's had Carol Peters survey that originally, and apparently there's a boundary issue between him and Shepherd, and apparently he thinks that I need to be involved.
Yeah.
I have title insurance. I don't care. It's been surveyed twice.
Well, I know he's brought it up before, and I told him that I'm not interested in any of that because he was here for an animal issue,
Right.
and that's what we were
And-
concerned about,
Yeah.
trying to deal with.
And I've told him that before. If there's a boundary issue, go get it. Go get your property surveyed. I mean, I got no problem with the guy other than his cows being on my property.
You took pictures of garbage too, so there's definitely more than cows.
I mean,
And we've been, like I said, the health side.
it's a show of character. I mean, his property is in absolute disarray, and the place is a landfill. to be quite honest. And I don't know. He has no organization and doesn't really care how he looks to other people. And I'm trying to keep my property in decent and respectful manner, and it's just pretty ridiculous that somebody can just go on and do whatever they want and get away with it.
Not really, he's not. He's just slow to change, but he's been there a lot of years still. So it's not just this board that's had to deal with him. You know, if he's been this way for 50 years.
Is there progress going on with his property, do you feel, at this point?
I was actually surprised to see the garbage trucks there, but as far as fence and cows, no, it's the same as always.
Yeah, that's, I
The
know
bulls
by
are
Monday,
still there?
Weatherby's
Yeah.
truck was there.
Ain't gone yet?
I don't believe so.
Jason told me they corralled 2, I think it was, and beefed them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, I went over to
Thank you.
chat with Marguerite.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
BJ,
Said,
how are you?
Oh, sorry.
we need
No, can I have a copy?
Oh, sure.
You see?
Where am I supposed to sit?
Hi,
Here?
Sarah, how we doing?
Good, how are you?
Wouldn't care.
Sure.
It's all warmed up. It's almost hot.
They're comfortable, actually.
Sorry we're so late on the agenda tonight, and it was kind of building up.
Busy folks.
Such is life.
So Yvonne was hoping to be here. Have you guys met her? No.
No.
Well, she's pretty phenomenal. I think Billy Joe would agree.
Yeah, she was giving rave reviews of her. Yeah.
You want to go? With what you've got?
Either way, yeah. So I submitted a grant to the Wild and Scenic Group, Trout River, Missisquoi, here a few months ago, and for some
Sorry, excuse me.
public access kayaks and canoes to be used on the river and managed by the rec committee. And to my shock, I got funded. So now I've got a tiger by the tail. I've got 4 kayaks and 2 brand new canoes that I got through Great Outdoors, and life jackets and paddles and a couple little wheel carrier, tow things. So it has the potential of being kind of cool, but there's a lot of little details.
Yeah.
So I was hoping I could either get some direction or mandates from you folks to get me on the right track. So the first thing is storage. Where are we going to store them? And I've been around and around. I've talked to people in Lions Club. I've talked to the village, talked to John Elwell. And what I'm heading towards is an outdoor rack, something like this, except with posts in the ground that you could chain the boats to, padlock them. I'm hoping that we can put it over on the Brownway property, and Nancy Patch is supposed to be checking with the Brown family sometime soon. I talked to her last week, and she was waiting till after Abe's 100th birthday celebration.
Wow.
But she thought that the conservation easements that were on that land would be compatible with something like this.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that'll work out. And the Ben Maddox at Flying Disc has volunteered to be the sign-out center. He said he's open more hours than any place on Main Street. And he's got a place to store the paddles and life preservers and the little cart things. so it would be available only through him when he's open.
Okay.
We need, I need to find out about insurance, and I'm assuming and hoping that the town insurance through the League of Village
Cities,
Towns, your insurance through them would cover this. Swanton has something very similar to this going, and I don't know if we need additional insurance or if that's what you have is adequate. We talked about similar things when we were talking about an ice skating rink. You know, somebody falls and breaks their neck on town ice rink, or somebody goes out and goes over the dam on a canoe.
Yeah. Not cool.
That it's not the town's liability.
You gonna check on that?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, yeah.
Does Swanton have some kind of a waiver? Or anything like that?
Boy, you read my mind. So I have the waiver that Swanton
Yeah.
uses, written by their lawyer, that is specific to water. You know, goes on about some risks are inherent in kayaking, blah blah blah, and you know, current, swells, waves, lakes. You know, so it's specific about boat access through the community. So you can either have this copy, or I can send Billy Joe the email with it on there.
Which way you gonna do it?
Probably want an email with it, I imagine. Yeah. Okay, I will forward that on to you, and see if that's
Yeah, that's
adequate with just changing town
town
name.
Enosburgh. Yeah.
Let's see what else. Payment. So the grant that I wrote was for 4,500. What's the exact number? 456207. And the funding through the Wild and Scenic Group was for a total of 421921. They have paid half of that and will pay the remaining half in the first of the year when they see that we've done what we said we're going to do. But Nate Cochran at the flying or at the Great Outdoors probably wants to get paid full amount. So
Yeah.
so I don't know if the town.
Or it would come out of our rec budget.
I was gonna say,
Either come out of rec
pay
budget.
it out of it and then come back and
Yeah.
the fees will come back in there.
I gave Billy Joe a PO.
Yeah.
That was the PO I
And
just
so
gave
that,
you.
I'm supposed to like maybe mark it, like grant someone who submitted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you've already deposited the
The
check
check
that came.
for that, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. The only other thing I've got on my list of sort of questions is we've talked amongst ourselves in the rec committee about charging a small fee to people, so we'd end up building a little bit of maintenance money, so, you know, if life jacket gets torn or whatever, we'll have a little funding coming in. And I've gotten some of our advisors through the Rise Vermont and Northwest Medical Center, Amy Brewer, have kind of said, well, it'd be nicer. And actually, the grant people would prefer to see it free, but I'm kind of inclined to.
I was gonna say, I don't know what the grants
Put a little skin in
say
the
to
game.
that.
You know.
It would be good. I know we do similar thing with FWA with those aerators.
Yeah.
We always charge them just a little bit,
Yeah.
just for the maintenance. Is so
Yeah.
much an acre, so same.
Yeah, I was thinking like $5 or $10
Yeah, wear and tear.
a
Right,
day,
you know.
something like that, minor.
What,
Yeah, that's not
so
a
you're
lot.
talking about storage, Steve, now, what about in the wintertime for these canoes and stuff, have you, what?
I haven't gotten that far, Terry. I've got empty barn in my house. It's kind of what
Well,
I
I
was.
mean, I just thought I'd ask.
No, legit question. I was thinking I would probably just bring them home and
Oh, I see, okay.
put them
How
up.
much
in the-
space do they really take up? I mean, would they fit in the shed?
Depends
No.
on,
In the work shed,
Yeah.
you can
won't have enough room.
You can stack them. I've got them in a 2-bay garage, and they take up all of 1 bay,
Oh, they do. Okay.
and that's stacked. You know, a couple layers. There's six boats, and so.
Okay. Answers my question.
Yeah. Well, I figured it'd be easier than
Yeah.
trying to find municipal storage space. Yeah, they're probably safer up there than in the village.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's,
Do you have questions on that
You got any-
before I jump into anything else?
So on this right here, if they were renting this, oh, whoops, that's not.
Well, I'm gonna pose the question to the people at the insurance company,
Right.
like, does renting them out versus letting them for free
Right.
Yeah.
have a difference on our liability?
Right.
yeah.
If it does, maybe you just.
Maybe it's for donations.
Yeah.
Right.
Suggest donations or something,
Yeah.
maybe?
But then again, it's one of those, we don't wanna be having a, I mean, I haven't had to buy a life jacket and a set of oars, or a paddle, but if they're $100
Well,
a
if you
piece.
leave
Those
your
were not the
license-
pricey items.
The thought too, the kayaks were the pricey items.
Adult life jackets are $50, juniors are 35, kayak paddles are $50,
I
canoe
imagine
paddles
if you
are
leave
40.
something-
But if you had to leave, like, I know I've gone someplace and had to leave, like, my license or a credit
Yeah.
card.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's,
because,
When you
I
get the
mean,
key, because essentially you would go to Ben's, you would get a key and the paddles and the life jackets. You'd go down to where they are, unlock the canoe. You'd have to bring that key and the stuff back to get whatever you left.
Right.
Yeah, because you might not have a kayak at the end of the day.
yeah.
because, I mean, it's, it's just like if you go to Franklin Rental, I mean, it's, you're renting a piece of equipment. This is the price, this is what you're gonna pay,
Yeah.
and when it comes back, if there's anything missing, then
It's on your credit card.
bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a rental. I mean, this is, and it's not so much that we're trying to make any money.
Right.
It costs money to operate.
right. Yeah, I think that's a good,
Yeah. I was envisioning a credit, a current credit card or driver's license as a,
I would say,
Lay on the table.
credit card. Like
The credit card. It's, I mean,
Yeah. There's some accountability there. Yeah, even if we don't charge a fee, but you have that,
have some kind of
right.
accountability.
So while we're on the conversation of grants, we also got a $4,000 RISE grant to pursue recreational enhancements at the rec fields themselves. And we also, through RISE Vermont, are able to, I actually submitted 2 grants requests. RISE, one was for signage for the recreational fields themselves. There's nothing there that says Enosburgh recreational fields. And also the walking path that was put in, we wanted to make, add some signage to make it kind of like a fitness path. So as you're walking, there's different things along the way that you can do to enhance your walk. I did have a question about that walking path. Is there a record somewhere of what it costs to put that in?
Amy and I have been trying to piece that
Have you?
together.
Okay.
We cannot find a folder. I asked Joey, he doesn't, but
Okay.
we seem to feel that it was in 2012 that we paid for it. So I can get a handle on the materials that we got from Leeches, but as far
Okay.
as the overall, we didn't keep a
Okay.
folder on
I
it.
was just curious.
And Joey did most of the work,
He
Joe-
did, but they got the aggregate from,
yeah.
that and Craig. I think Craig helped out on that, didn't
he helped with the grant, but Joey did the work, Joey approved.
he? Okay.
So, one of the things, there's also another grant with the Elmstreet sidewalk that's going to be going in next summer, according to Jonathan. There is an AARP community grant that would be available. What we've really started doing is looking at those fields and what they could be, especially with good sidewalk access, is really being another public space in the town that could be utilized. So this is a draft planning document. To be used for the writing of grants. Some things that, obviously includes our mission statement, our rationale, opportunity, touches upon the Better Connections grant, collaboration with the Northern Borders, the Mississauga Valley Rail Trail. But the vision is to really make that space a multi-age, multi-use recreational space. And so some of the things that we are thinking about is refreshing and beautifying that quarter-mile gravel walking path, lighting, benches, signage, pavilion picnic tables, edible landscapes, eventually a play structure, refreshing the basketball court. Somebody has come to us, a few people have come to us about pickleball. We have questions about surveying of the land and drainage. So just some things that we have been thinking about, and then it's broken down by target population, priority, budget estimate, timeline, and then funding and target. So you can see that AARP grant could really fund a lot through this.
What was happening is we kept seeing grants, and we'd find out about them like the week before they were due. There wasn't any way in the world you could whip it together, and so we thought if we had a little bit of a plan and somewhat of a prioritizing of things that we thought would be helpful, then if a grant came along, we could go to this and see if it would fit in one of these additions and make it a lot smoother, because it was kind of feeling like a bit of a scramble. Actually, you stayed up like all night a couple weeks ago putting some of this together. We had
So what we want to do is share this with you, get your, I guess, buy-in and thoughts on really kind of revisiting and revitalizing that space. I mean, other than the soccer field and the baseball field that's there, I think it's really an underutilized space. And I think once, everything that's happening with the better connections, with the downtown revitalization, with that Elm Street sidewalk project, that space really has the potential to be, a very highly used space. There's just a lot of potential there. So what we would like to do with the $4,000 grant that we received from RISE is to resurface the basketball court, refresh the basketball court, purchase what's needed to do pickleball. Because we believe we've got to double check the measurements. We may be able to get 2 pickleball courts. Do you guys know what pickleball is? So
I heard they played it in Florida.
It's really huge in the so Jean Jewett and Diane Lumbra were the 2 people that came to us. They are fanatics.
Oh goodness.
They go to but it's an all age thing. Kids can play it, seniors, older people can play it. And it's kind of it's played with like a wiffle ball, but it's heavier, a little bit heavier, but looks like a wiffle ball. And it's kind of like a table tennis paddle, but a little bit more substantial. And it's kind of like tennis, but in a smaller court. And it's divided, and the ball has to bounce. You can't slam it. Anyway, there's all these rules. But anyway, I mean, people are fanatical about it. Like at Collins Pearly, it's, they drive even sometimes to Burlington when they can't get into St. Albans to play.
These people will wait for like 2 hours to get a court.
And it's a rotating thing. So you could say on Saturday we're going to have pickleball from 10 to noon, and 30 people could show up. And the way they play it, you're rotating in and out constantly. So it's just how it works, I guess. So anyway.
Well, I guess when you get hooked onto it.
Yeah.
Because, these people that are down the Stone Grill there next to the villages in Florida.
Yeah.
Mark and Lynette Valancourt and, those people, they're hooked.
Yeah, it seems to be very addictive. All you need is what were the nets? They were...
Oh yeah, they're very inexpensive. Like $200.
$200 for a net.
Yeah.
And
it's not something that would be out all the time.
Tape out the court.
Yeah.
So
This on a lawn or is it on a?
Two can
is it on a
like
cement court?
one
Basketball
Right on the
basketball
court.
court.
I
Two?
think
Yeah,
we use
they're,
basketball courts for the-
we have to double check the measurement,
Oh,
but they're
so-
small.
So
They're
you
not
get
big
more out of
courts.
that
Getting whacked
basketball
to the
court.
bottom
Yeah.
of the
As long as
No.
nothing's getting
Right.
used.
No.
Yeah,
They may end up getting more use for this than.
Yeah, you
that.
should.
Yeah,
Check it out.
exactly.
Check it out. So yeah, so it'd be a in resurfacing the basketball court, it would be cleaning up the surface, and then, making it pickleball ready as well as basketball. Bike racks, that was something.
Gaga pit. That was another
Want
one.
bike racks? Or you?
Yes.
You want to buy some?
Putting a bike, no, Rise would donate them, but putting bike racks up there, similar to the ones that are in the park now.
What's the Gaga pit?
It is, I've never played it. You'd have to look it up. It's
It's a
the
multi-sided-
newest thing.
It's a multi-sided structure, low, look like pressure treated 2x10s
It's a game.
with maybe 6 or 8 sides. And you go on the interior, and it's like for kids mostly, but it's like a dodgeball thing where you've got a ball that you're throwing.
Oh,
And one of the people that advises us through the hospital said it is like kids just love it, and it costs more a few $100 worth of
yeah.
that's grass.
That's
you know.
kind of what it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
And you play a game.
Yeah.
I've never played, so I'm not really sure. But anyway, so little things like that to kind of enhance that space and make it more user friendly.
More
I mean, if you
appealable.
really envision that space, picture, lighting, picture the walkway a little bit better, picture benches where, people can congregate, even a pavilion of sorts, a play structure. I mean, just picture what that space could look like, especially with, like I said, that sidewalk coming is going to be huge. Kids are going to be able to ride their bikes there, people are going to be able to walk there. So
Sidewalk, where's that gonna be?
So the sidewalk, as I understand it from the village, is gonna go on the McDermott side. It's gonna go up Water Tower,
Cause we talked about
across
that
Water
at
Tower,
one time.
right, down, and then back. So it's not gonna cross straight across, it's gonna go
Yeah.
down, up, over, down, and back.
Takes away from the heavy traffic.
Right, right, so, my question about signage, because that is something that could happen straight away, is, is there a zoning requirement as far as, we obviously would bring a design to you for approval. We wouldn't just throw something up there, but for Yvonne to start kind of,
Yeah, that's.
are there size?
There is size
Yes.
dimensions and it's.
So she could just check with Angie?
The ones in the town are different than the ones in the village, so
Right.
you need to get a village book because that lies within the village limits.
Yeah, so I was wondering.
I was gonna say, is it town or
Town property,
village?
but it's in the village.
So she should just talk to Angie.
Yeah.
That's easy. What else? So yeah, Yvonne is on the ball, and she really,
Yeah, we should
just in
be
the,
good then, huh?
Well,
Yeah.
her credentials are amazing, and she's only been on board for a few weeks, but she's
she is going to be
lots
on
of
the
energy, and she's got like an MBA in marketing.
I know Polly when she was talking in the last
And
meeting.
Very,
Very
very pleasant, very pleasant woman.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I just totally lost my train of thought. Oh, she's going to sit on the steering committee. Yvonne is for the
Better connection.
Better Connections grant.
Oh, good.
The rec department is going to collaborate with the EBA. We're going to have, well, if the village approves it, the goal is to have a community block party at the end of the summer. So her marketing, that's something that she did in Florida. So she has expertise in that area as well. Yeah. We're going to be, she has already submitted a permit to do movies in the park. at least starting one in June, one in July, one in August. I'm trying to think what else is coming up.
This month is bicycle month, and we're giving out free bike helmets. The Rise Vermont group is giving out, we got like 200 helmets designated for Enosburgh for the kids.
And
Uh, And adults, yeah. Yeah.
Amy handed me one.
Yeah.
And said I better see where. So yeah, I think, do you guys have questions or anything for us?
I guess I have one question. When you
Yeah.
said the bike racks are available, did you want their permission to put one up there now?
Yeah. Yes, I would like your permission. And the signage, permission to proceed.
Where would you put the bike rack?
Wherever you tell me we can.
Around we go.
Wherever an acceptable location is. No, I mean, you know, they're permanent, but they're not permanent. You know, like I said, like the ones in the park.
We don't want them in front of the building. I
No,
guess.
of course
So you're
not.
looking more towards the courts?
Yeah,
That
they could be
area.
down by the courts,
by the
they could
basketball
be,
courts,
yeah.
Away from the parking yard, probably.
Yeah. Speaking of parking, this is just to put a bug in your ear. Have you guys ever thought about more parking there? Or
Yeah,
where
last
more
year when it
parking
became a
could
problem,
be?
we thought about it.
Like
I know
all,
we talked at one time, there's more property,
Up further there beyond the shed.
because I guess there was supposed to be tennis courts there at some point.
Yeah.
another baseball field.
That kind of was
Yeah.
tying into what she said, that it may be necessary to
As
end
we're-
up having the property survey to see what we actually do have.
That's, yeah, to me, I drive by and like,
Is that something
where's the
that,
area that we're supposed to have?
Yeah,
I guess that's a
There's a map.
request to,
I don't think I
well,
have.
Billy Joe got it for
Yeah,
us,
that's right, the maps that you had, that we had at our meeting
Yeah.
last
I mean,
week.
is that
It wasn't like
something
a
you
real
would look
survey, that was
into?
just their
Would be-
idea.
Yeah,
But I mean,
Survey
is that
the
extra
property.
property, however big it is, you know, I don't know
No,
if there's
you-
land.
especially as we're kind of revisioning, as the rec department is revisioning and working on a new concept plan to potentially bring to you, knowing what is potentially, you know, available. And then I don't know, like, is there a plan that shows what the drainage is or isn't around there? I mean, it gets pretty wet and,
I don't think there is any of those plans. It was done, I think, by Larry Lucier Company. most
And if
of it,
there was a-
he's
Around the
done
ball
that.
fields and stuff.
It'd be
We
good.
were at the meeting there, after our other meeting, Brian Jaros, they were showing the seating down and it was all, and I didn't see any drainage in there. It was all-
Well, you know, as we looked,
Yes, it
as we looked at when we were doing
There was
the drain up there,
Surface
well, you know, things weren't done like
change
the
because of
blueprint
because of
said.
that
Right.
problem.
Because of that,
You know,
Yes.
the oil separator will be out here, well, it's over here on this, you know, end of the
Yeah.
building instead of, so there, you can read the blueprint, but doesn't tell you much. That ain't the way it is.
my other question, this is a little off the topic. Can I switch to my Little League hat
Sure.
for a minute? Is that okay? You don't mind? Did Luke Willie call regarding dirt?
We had heard a rumor, so I tracked him down like that. That's why I needed that from you,
Heard a
from you the other
Oh,
day.
yeah, uh-huh.
And that was what it was about.
Yeah,
And he did confirm that the rumor was in fact true, that they needed 2 loads instead of just the one.
okay,
Joey's gonna send the trucks this week,
okay. So they'll have dirt, we'll have
before
dirt
the
this-
weekend.
Okay, awesome.
he didn't want to do it before because I guess with all the rain and stuff,
The
it was pretty
softball
wet.
field, there's
The-
literally
the
a
stuff
lip
over that they were
like
gonna get
this
was
in
wet.
front of shortstop. Like there was a 4 or 5 foot, not foot, inch puddle that was there for, I mean, days.
You just get more material when it dries out for your cost, so. When it-
Yeah,
you
right,
pay for
no,
water,
exactly.
you don't wait.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Mm.
okay. All right, I was just softball coach getting antsy. I figured I had you, so I would ask.
Some sunny days finally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the bike racks, you know, to me, it's not a problem.
And the signs are gonna go up along the fence where?
No,
along
like,
the
so we're
bucket?
thinking like when you drive in, you know, there's nothing that says Enosburgh Recreation, so maybe down by the
Oh, that
drive.
kind of, I thought you were
Yeah,
talking
like
about what
a-
you had said before.
Oh, no, the fitness signs.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
Not the-
Two
Those-
ideas.
Okay,
Yeah,
two-
two ideas.
two
Two
separate,
separate ideas
yeah.
that Rise Vermont would fund.
I understand.
Yeah,
Okay.
so one would be like signage around the walkway, which, you know, we'll come up with a design and present. And the other would be a sign by the Water Tower Road entrance. That one would be smaller. And then one by the main entrance that says Enosburgh Recreation Fields. So,
You have to go through with Angie on that.
yeah, so I'll have Yvonne talk to Angie, but I just wanted to get approval to proceed with those things.
That sounds good.
Is it?
Motion?
Make the motion. Bike racks and the signs.
Do you have a second?
Second it?
Motion made and have a second to approve the bike racks and the signage for the rack. Any more discussion? Have none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay.
Do we need approval for the basketball court work we want to do?
Probably should get a quote on it first.
Yeah, no, we would.
You said it was covered under the grant?
Yes. Yes, we have $4,000
You'd
to.
be surprised how much it costs to research.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, yes.
Because we don't want that to exceed what you got for
What were
grant.
they doing for a surface? Is it just pavement?
Right now, what's there is just pavement,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was.
And we may
So
not
what
even
would
need
they
to do
Would they just seal
anything.
it, or they,
It might just
May
need
just
to
be-
be
might be a sealing
sealed
job.
and, you know, so.
Yeah, because we just had pavement discussion with Joey tonight and
I mean, it's certainly not gonna need to be dug up
$66
and
a
redone
ton
by
there.
any
Depends how many
means.
tons you have and
yeah,
how thick it's gonna go if you go that route, but if it's a sealer,
No, it's, I
that'd be a
think,
few $100.
yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a big process. I think it's just cleaning it up and that kind of thing. But we'll look into it and we'll report back to you.
Does this look like it's still in pretty good condition? Though?
I think, I mean, from
From I think
my
that's
view,
a-
I haven't been on it.
Oh.
I've seen people on it. It doesn't look like it's falling apart or, I didn't see any big crack down the middle or grass growing in it or anything like that, so
Good.
we'll just double check it.
That sounds good with your entire pickleball in with us.
yeah, exactly. You got something there and utilize it more for,
Yeah,
and,
Yeah, with minimal additional expense, so.
exactly.
okay. Holy moly, it's 9 o'clock.
And do many of the exercise people that exercise with Rossi, do they use the track, the walking track for anything afterwards much or anything?
I'm not sure. I think honestly, I don't know how many people really realize it's there, and that's why having some signage says, "Hey, walking path, quarter mile," or you know, something like that. And it definitely is starting to get overgrown,
Yeah.
so it
And
needs to
even
be.
if there was markers,
Yeah.
if somebody wants to go a mile, how far do I walk?
Right, exactly. Like
So that's
a quarter
part of
mile
it.
walking path, like starts here, or, you know.
They make commercial, almost like playgrounds for adults by stations.
Yeah.
They have them down on the Burlington rec path there along the lake. You know,
Okay.
where you get to a spot and there'll be a sign of what to do with this, almost like a weight machine, you know,
Right.
kind of thing, but they're like industrial quality,
Yeah,
all,
that's,
you know,
yeah,
heavy duty.
not quite there yet, but.
Yeah, we're
Get people
thousands of
walking
dollars
first.
away from that.
Okay, so we have a basket of apples.
We'll have a little sign that says push-ups here.
Over here.
But, you know, I mean, ideally, you know, people bring their kids there and while their kids are playing or practicing, they could be walking or
Yeah.
whatever. And again,
Thank you. Signage. It's a
Yeah,
good
we're
thing.
trying to make it a multi-age.
Yeah.
and that's what that AARP grant too is really, really big into. That one is actually due, the 17th. And we're gonna try and pull something together for that in this first round. Amy and Yvonne are working on that, so we
we may or may not see something from that in this first cycle. But definitely, I think in the next cycle, we know it's there, so.
It'll be a lot smoother now that we've got a director. Haven't had one
Yeah.
haven't had one for a long time, so now we can
When's your next meeting?
make it headway.
Next meeting is the
16th.
16th,
Next Wednesday.
third Wednesday. Yeah, next Wednesday already.
Time?
5 o'clock,
5
6:30.
At the.
Thought you had something on the,
I do, but I just want,
He likes
Because-
to pop in.
We love to have you pop in.
You gotta do push-ups before you get in there.
there you go. Well, thank you.
Yes, during the summer, we have our meeting as we're walking on the trail.
Yeah, thank you.
Sounds
See you
upbeat.
later.
Thanks.
Thanks, good night. Great.
Don't burn the midnight oil too late.
So now the pile. So this, they called today because these people that you had,
Yeah, okay. No, the
they are
state going.
they're displaced, obviously. But so they need you as the former, I put this here, they need your signature so they can help them find some housing. And I said, I made it clear you weren't anywhere, and she said that was fine. But they did need to make sure that they work on the truth and confirm.
Yeah. See, so.
Yes. And those are overweights and
Good.
those, and I guess you're done.
did we ever finalize the emergency plan?
Yes.
Okay. Because I got another one, I got something else today, and so I was like, I tried to email it to you. I got your wrong email address, so it's like, email me, tell me your new address.
Okay, I didn't get a new one, it's just.
Or maybe I just didn't copy and paste and all that stuff, you know? That's just insurance. People's Trust. First name.
There we go. But that's what you're asking what it was for.
Is it a fire truck?
Yeah,
No,
that was the
this one.
bill for People's Trust.
Got more.
Oh, that's,
I just got a bunch of these. Seems like last couple of years I had a lot of these overweights.
One thing that, well, at the last Enosburgh initiative meeting, they brought up, did anybody send you anything on that, BJ, about switching the meetings around to coincide with the village so we could all meet with the Enosburgh initiative stuff?
No, Angie
No.
mentioned it to Polly, and Polly groaned enough that
Yeah.
I know nobody has sent anything.
It all sounded good, but I don't know how it would, you could possibly do it and make it,
I don't either. I thought about it a lot, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh. Either you have to have an extra meeting, or
yeah.
you have a really
This
long
is
one when you
village?
have one.
How come this is different in the bottom?
What was
I
that
think it's
again?
something they
They were-
created on
They
their
wanna
own
have,
because
they wanna,
somehow
the
they
two groups wanna have a meeting together?
They wanted to
I didn't know if it was the village or something,
No?
the director of public
I
works.
didn't know if us and the trustees could both have our meetings the same night, maybe at the emergency service building. So we'd go in two separate rooms, have our meetings, and then all meet together with them on they have going on and know everything, just to try to coincide it all at once. But I don't know how you could make that all work. It'd be hard.
Like on a night like tonight,
Right,
it would be almost impossible.
right.
But I guess you'd have to do scheduling and such that it to make it work.
You take they said like it's 7 o'clock, you stop and take whatever it takes to go over their,
I see.
kind of their committee thing or something.
Was it the initiative that was gonna send something in to ask them?
Yeah, they were
No,
supposed to.
they haven't yet.
Kind of the more I thought about it, it's a nice idea, but I don't know.
Well, it is,
how-
so everybody would stay informed.
Yeah, I wonder if we need to, maybe they just need to suggest they select somebody from their group to be reporting to us
Yeah.
once a month or something. I think they'd like to tie us and the village together on this a little bit.
Yeah, because we applied jointly and these funds are coming from both of us. Mainly general fund. But they're the ones that are carrying most of the permit and stuff, because most of the work's gonna be
Solar,
done in here in the village.
I guess I know what you're saying. but-
Yep, so this is the bill that we get from the solar company. And does somebody have the village light bills?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Can you hand them to me? This is just part of them. So I know yours is probably different, but we get the bills from the village, and they look like this. I have this much taken off, but they can only take off, even though on the second page, it tells you how much your credit,
Initially, if we were to.
Credit
go with
amount.
10.
this month,
What's that?
2216.
Initially,
But
if
we
we
can
were to
only
go
take
with the 10
this much,
initiative,
because we can't take anything off the
as a
customer charge,
group,
we can only
I mean,
take it off the
as
electric
as individuals
portion.
from the two
So we
bodies.
get
we would
credit
be
that we
able to
cannot use on certain things.
be
But this is
informative.
what it looks like, so they give us these
Just trying to find that
credits.
time.
Right,
That's
right.
lights by
Yeah, I get
Cattell.
charged $9.25 every month, so that's taken off of my credit
Monday,
limit.
Tuesday,
You know,
That's
Wednesday,
Joey's,
Thursday.
his is the bigger of,
Yeah, that's what you're
99.73
saying. So
credit.
one of us switched from.
but then
because
this
they're
applies
Tuesday,
to
right?
all of the buildings, not
Or
just the
Monday.
ones
There's-
outside
oh,
of the town.
the
So it's like
trustees
this
are
one,
Tuesdays,
library,
yes.
opera house,
So we
fire
would
station,
switch
plus
one of
these,
them.
No, actually,
this is the credit. I mean, this is the bill that we have to
So
pay.
we-
We would
These
just have,
credits.
we would have to make a special announcement, or we have
Yeah.
to warn it, that we're changing our date ahead of, so many days ahead of time.
Yeah, like one of the meetings a month, they were wondering about, but.
That's why, when we do have a meeting with them, yeah, we kind of,
Yeah, we probably shouldn't have.
we
it.
swap back and forth, usually, they'll come, we'll go to their meeting, or they'll come to ours, we try to do it jointly, but
And initially, it's more of an informative thing, because to try to,
Yeah, and I think as they get more active with their grants and everything they have going on, just to try to keep us more involved, I think, maybe. I've been to a couple of the meetings, not a lot. They not a good time for a farmer in the summer.
no. Yeah, there you go. Oh, so this is the fixing of the tank at the fire station, the water.
No, that's right, 8,000. It's for an 8 engine too, it's for a fire truck repair.
Oh, okay.
Terry might know something
Been having a
about it, I
lot
know
of trouble
nothing.
with that truck.
Have you seen the bill yet for, that box there where the alarm was down by the road?
$175 I haven't repelled for it. I was supposed to do it today, just didn't get it.
Is that what they, that's what they charge putting that circuit breaker in and stuff?
175.
When did they do that? I mean, did they do that right off the timely fashion today, or?
Let me see.
Of course, I don't even know the date we dealt with it, so that ain't gonna tell me nothing.
I do. April 1st.
Was it April 1st?
I came back from Jamaica. Remember I told you I went through that night, so it's April 2nd because
okay.
Sunday was April 1st.
Okay.
April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Nope, I don't have that.
I'm
I
like,
thought
what?
they
That
were
light
down
is
by-
going off at this time of night.
Maybe they haven't sent us the bill yet because these are on porta potties.
What was the story, what was the freight, how much less were they in working dogs?
They were 85.
Working dogs are 95? They were 100? Is that right? Oh my God. Wow. But, they, at least one thing about, with working dogs, they're forward let stay upright. That one up at the fire station was tipped over the other.
The one at
The
the
one
gravel,
on the corner of Duffy Hill was tipped over too on
Oh,
Saturday
yeah.
morning.
the gravel pit one was.
It was too, is that right? Yeah. See, they always, working dogs put stakes around theirs, you know,
Yeah.
so they wouldn't tip over.
They build it daily instead of getting one big bill.
Could be
Right.
heavy enough, so they wouldn't,
Like what the heck?
It's a little cumbersome.
then they get filled up, they are.
Yeah. Oh, I got my handful of papers, I gotta get rid of them.
You got anything else?
So, how's Mary doing?
She's back in.
I'm so surprised I came in here that day.
Okay. She's
And
back
she's
in.
sitting there and I'm like, BJ says, hi Larry, and I'm like, hi Mary! I said, wow!
She started back on treatment this week, so she won't be around for a few more weeks.
Oh, okay.
So this week's treatment at UVM, staying right there, and then she'll be at the Hope House. She'll be home for a couple weeks, and we'll start it all over in June.
That must made her feel good to,
She
doing
made
something.
to be out and doing something. She said, I would come here every day if they would just let me come home.
Yeah. It's strong.
so, we'll do Joey's next time. This here. Who's on the fence viewing thing? Because
Jean, Pierre, and Gary.
Oh.
May 20th, before our next meeting.
20th probably won't work for me, but I can try to do it another time maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna,
Or I could probably do it that, even the 21st.
let Larry know something one way or the other on the 21st. I'm definitely not in favor of having any large animal ordinance because the town would have to build a large building somewhere to retain these animals,
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna put it in my place.
I got some cows out, you want them?
Yeah,
I got some.
that's
all wet out.
exactly it. It's like, yeah, let somebody else feed them, and you know how expensive that's gonna be? Yeah. It's a personal agenda. I know it is, some of it's. So, that's pretty much it on the agenda.
Yep.
I'm tired, ready to go home. Anybody got a motion?
I'll make it to adjourn.
Motion's made to adjourn, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded, any more discussion? If having none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
That's good, Marlon. Good, Marlon.